What's up, gamers? Welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry. Matsuribayashi. That one's such a difficult one to say. But we're back in it, and I'm assuming we're gonna pick up where we're supposed to be picking up, which is with the gang. I am assuming and I'm hoping that we get to see Keiichi and gang again. Did I hear Hinamizawa? You did correctly. We found out so many secrets. Deep-rooted memories. Did you watch the anime, I'm assuming? A lot of people watch the anime and then that's just kind of all the exposure they get, which is good. Cause I did the same thing. Hope you're going good. I am doing good. I took a shower and I put comfy clothes on and now I'm gonna sit down, be all cozy, read a nice book, you know? That's basically what this is. It's great. Love the anime. Dude, this one is, like, the games are so much more in-depth. Like, it's crazy. And the guy who made the games is very well-versed in what he talks about. Like, he, like, worked in, like, it's hard to explain, but he knows the system. So he is able to write about it very easily. It's very good. It's very, very, very good. The chapter 1 is free on Steam, so you could always read that. All the other chapters cost like $7 a chapter, which is freaking, it's great for the content. It's great for the value you get from it. It's just really good. But yeah, first chapter is always free on Steam. And it is my favorite chapter. So all the others are really good too, but the first one has a special place in my heart, you know. But without further ado, once you read Onikakushi, you won't be able to stop. That's so freaking true. Exactly. As soon as Keiichi thinks that there's a needle in his freaking rice ball, you know you can't go back after that. As soon as the double steps come in, and you start turning around your shoulders, you can't stop after that. Okay, let's go. Alright. Continue. Reno's always the scariest? That's very surprising. Oh god, here we freaking go. Wait. Welcome to the world of Higurashi, Chapter 8, Matsuribayashi. Okay, so, Matsuribayashi. So I guess before was literally a prologue to this freaking chapter, because we're actually getting the welcome. In this world, you'll be able to recreate the story from Hanyu's point of view. Your objective is to create the June 1983 ideal to you. You'll need to collect many different fragments to make that possible. What the frick? You telling me there's gameplay in this visual novel? However, Takano's conviction is very strong. To overturn it, you will need a lot of effort and a lot of fragments. Huh. I'll warn you right now, it'll be a slow and painful process. What? What do you mean? Hanyu went through it for 100 years, and she even had to stop and give in to fate. Defeating Takano's conviction will not be easy. Trial in this world will put you through as much pain as Hanyu had to endure. You may surrender, just like Hanyu did, after being emotionally worn down by the constant repetition of the worlds woven by countless fragments. When you feel like surrendering, you can end this game at any time. Dude! What do you mean? What do you mean? Of course I can freaking stop playing the game whenever I want, but do I want to? This game isn't 150 hours, it's not 1,000 hours long. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. But if you do, the world's revolving around your friend's fate will be limited to Onikakushi through Minagoroshi. By forgetting about this world and uninstalling this product, you will finally accept death. That's That is definitely a statement that you could make. I don't think I've ever seen a game say that directly to you as a player before. By uninstalling this product, you accept death. I feel like playing Persona 3 already, made that happen. But just like Rika did. Your ideal June 1983 can be created by putting together 50 fragments that are scattered all over this world. To connect these fragments together, you'll need the right ones. There are 50 of them, which may be dizzying. However, this world isn't that merciless. To ease your pain, there'll be a little help for you. When you choose the wrong pieces, your only ally here will give you a sign that it's not yet time to put those fragments together. As long as the sign remains, you won't be able to connect them. Might as well go look for different ones. If you put other fragments together, you might be able to connect the ones you couldn't put together earlier. When that happens, she'll let you know. Let's put those fragments together. Then you'll be able to join the other ones too. When you connect all 50, they'll become one big fragment. There you'll find your ideal June 1983. That's when the long-awaited Matsuribayashi will begin. Before you peek at each fragment, why don't you line up all 50 of them first? Most of them require other fragments, so there are only a few you can actually look at. Let's try to find those first. See the conditions for connecting fragments. Just point the cursor at them. Are you telling me there's freaking gameplay now? After 8 chapters, there's gameplay that I'm not just reading anymore? And earlier I was talking about, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so nice to snuggle down with a little book. But now I have to play a game? Before anything else, let's find the ones you can look at without any conditions. This will be an extremely long and difficult trial. Let me tell you again, Hanyu challenged this for over 100 years and gave up on it. You believe in miracles in the same way your friends do. Even if you don't live in the world where they live, you believe in them. Welcome. Welcome to the world of Higurashi Chapter 8, Matsuribayashi. In this world, you'll be tested to see if you believe in the world that Rika and the others believed in. A miracle only happens when everyone combines their strength. The June 1983, created by Takano, is nearly indomitable. She's gathered many people whose powers are beyond the average person to her side, her backers being the center of national authority. Even if 100 die, all rolled ones, there wouldn't be a chance to defeat her. In other words, a miracle is the only way forward. A miracle happens only when everyone combines their strength, and you are one of them. Me, the player! Are you ready? I'm more than ready. The key to a long journey is not to pressure yourself too hard. Well, let's take it at a light pace. I'll work while drinking my usual wine. Shall we begin? We have all the time in this world. What the frick is happening? This is insane. We just started. Now I'm getting a tutorial? You have obtained new fragments? No tips are gone? No more tips? Tips are gone? What is the connecting fragment? What do you mean connecting fragments? What is happening? I'm so confused. What the heck? Whoa! Whoa. What? 7 pages. Okay. C103 dose experiment. Satoko Hojo's detailed test result is required. Yosuke Iria's decision is required. Discontinuation of Satoko Hojo's dissection plan is required. Yosuke Iria's motive to become a doctor is required. Huh. Okay. 30-year curse of a Yashiro-sama is required. Research is going well. L5 stage patient's dissection is required. Queen Carrier! Death of Satsuko Hojo's aunt is required. A bat to beat her to death is required. So Onikakushi. Or wait, no, that's Satoko's brother. Yeah. Satsuko Hojo must not be allowed to visit his sister at the clinic. Satsuko Hojo's sense of responsibility as a big brother is required. So these are like hints. These are like hints to find the fragments. And the fragments are like endings in a visual novel. And I'm gonna have to make decisions very specifically to find the endings, which are the fragments. And all the fragments will be combined together to defeat her. Somehow. This fragment is required first. What the frick does that mean? So every fragment is in? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. Completion of the medicine C117 is required. Okay, which is the first? Death of Koizumi-sensei. Oh. Oh my god, Satoshi. 56 times playthrough. Seems, yeah. Okay, this fragment is required first. Okay, so there's like 7 that we have first. Jirotometake, local explanatory meeting, Satoshi Hojo. Satoshi! Yeah. Oh my goodness. How many do we have? Okay, Satoko Hojo. So like the beginnings. A fragment from the Onikakeshi chapter is required. What? The game board must be set up. Fragment from the Watanagashi chapter. The game board must be set up. Okay, and then we have a fragment from one of each of the chapters that we have. So now we have so many other ones that we haven't seen yet. Okay, so we have 7 fragments to do at the beginning, or 5-ish, whatever. We got Satoko Hojo. Hold on. Yeah, I'm so ready. This is like a mystery game now. I'm writing this down. Hold on. So what do we have from the beginning? The ones that we have at the beginning. Let's see. Okay, dam construction operation withdrawal. I'm writing it down. Dam construction operation withdrawal. And we also have... what else? Kyosuke Irie. Yosuke Irie. Then we have Jiro Tomitake. Or Flake. Satoshi Hojo. Hojo. Where's Rena, by the way? A local explanatory meeting. Local explanatory meeting. Okay. Any more? Wait, Satoko Hojo? Satoko Hojo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6. Is that it? Okay, so we have 6. We have 6 to start. Alright, what do we hit first? Should we get the character ones out of the way? Because there's 4 of them that are just character names. I feel like that would be a decent place to start. Oh, but even the character and some of the character name ones are hidden behind other requirements. Frick. Oh, I don't know what to do. I hate decisions. I hate decisions. I guess I just want to do what I'm most interested in, which is freaking Satoshi. But I guess we should do the boring one first, which is dam construction operation withdrawal. That's the freaking... Let's get the boring one out of the way. Okay, where is that one? Dam construction operation withdrawal. Let's go. But dang, we're just right into it. I wonder how long these fragments are gonna be. They said it was gonna be a long and crazy process, but I didn't look up how long this chapter is, so I have no clue. I should probably look that up after this, just to see, just to gauge. Okay, sorry for being late. I had an unusually large number of patients today. Thank you for coming, Lieutenant Colonel Irie. Tomitake stood up suddenly and saluted when he saw Irie come into the room. Alright, stop calling me Lieutenant Colonel. I'm a doctor. I just can't get used to military ranks. Can you call me Director instead? Understood, Director Irie. Tomitake, of course, knew that Irie didn't like to be called Lieutenant Colonel, so it was something of a joke. They laughed casually together. On the other hand, Takano looked rather fed up with it. She couldn't stand hearing the same joke over and over, and even thinking about talking to Tomitake about it. But she didn't want to hurt his feelings, so she simply never had the chance. Maybe it's because of how Tomitake pronounces it, but she keeps hearing Risa. Lieutenant Colonel in Japanese, Nisa. Huh. Interesting. Translation notes. Cool. Irie and Tomitake are such baby girls. They kind of are. I would say Tomitake is definitely a baby girl. Irie is less so because... I don't know. I just don't like him as much. When she heard it that way, she kept hearing Irie Risa every time Tomitake said it. When Takano told Irie about it, he had a good laugh. Today was just a simple meet and greet. Tomorrow was the actual meeting. Tomitake had already arrived. There would be more inspectors from Tokyo at the meeting, waiting to hear the progress that had been made. Anyway, I heard the whole village is up in arms about the dam construction project. You can say that again. The village is such a mess. Participated in local municipal explanation meeting as an official, but the whole thing was alive with angry shouts and profanities. After the basic Hinamizawa Dam project was announced, the village was consumed with uproar. The government retracted their plans for concessions rather early on. They made their aggressive stance clear. They didn't want the locals to take advantage of them by showing their willingness to compromise. However, that backfired horribly. As they had historical ties to the land, the government's actions only made their bonds stronger. Neither the government nor the locals wanted to back down. Hehehe. People from Hinamizawa are rather hot-tempered. Maybe because they're descendants of demons. It's not funny. That wild meeting lasted all night. I feel your pain. Really, it's not funny, Tomitake-san. So what's going on with the dam construction? Are they really going to submerge the village? Tokyo's applying their pressure to the situation too. Things might seem clamorous on the surface, but in truth, the supporters behind it are wavering rather hard. No way. The supporters behind it are wavering. Yeah. Hope their pressure produces effects soon. The whole village is buzzing with action from dusk to dawn. And I worry the villagers' minds are growing agitated. Sometimes I have to listen to my patients go on and on about their opinion on the dam construction plan. Why do you even listen to them? You're too nice. I have to. I'm a clinic director first and a research center director second. Part of my job to listen to them. He's such a good doctor. It's very nice of you. It's admirable. I know the people in Tokyo will call off the plan sooner or later, but the villagers won't. So they have to live in fear that they might be forced to leave the land where they've lived for generations. Even if they're told to leave, they don't have money, and a lot of them are old. Maybe some wanted an increase in the amount of compensation they'd be offered, but the government changed its mind. I don't think it's possible for them to come to a peaceful agreement at this point. There are actually some villagers who were satisfied with that amount and were willing to leave. However, the Sonozaki family didn't want to change their stance against the issue. They're actually leading the villagers in a fight against the government. There are blaring announcement vans everywhere, and ads and flyers are attached to the circulation notices. It's a serious matter for them. I guess I can understand. I hope the construction plan will be called off soon for their sake. Once it's called off, this village will become peaceful once again. I know that, of course. Things are moving right along in Tokyo, so please give us a little more time. Whoa! So we're not the point of view of anyone? We get to see, we're like third person now? Okay. I've heard a rumor from Tokyo that you're having problems finding a way to pressure the Minister of Construction. Is that true? Oh, I'm not sure, but I've heard myself that they're having a little problem with some of the details. Takano had powerful people supporting her, but they didn't control all of Japan. There were some things they excelled in, but also other things that they weren't too good at. Finding a way to put pressure onto the Minister of Construction fell into the latter. In all seriousness, though, we really won't be facing any requests to leave this area because of the dam, right? Of course not. I can guarantee that won't happen. It's just taking longer than we thought, that's all. So please continue your research. We were told that if things can't be resolved peacefully, we may have to use drastic measures. Drastic measures? I cannot say that word. Drastic measures? What do you mean, Tomitake-san? You don't need to worry about that part, Director ADA. Please let us take care of it. I see. Okay. Thank you for your work. It's fine, Director ADA. The dam construction plan will be called off. It's already been decided. Oh wait. It's fine, Director ADA. The dam construction plan will be called off. It's already been decided. Takano giggled. Tomitake laughed too. However, ADA couldn't understand what was so funny, so he felt left out. ADA only understood the meaning of those drastic measures when he examined a young boy he had never seen in the village before. A young boy? A young boy? Those don't exist in Hidemizawa. Only young girls exist there. Because the only ones who exist are Satoko and Rika. What? That's it! What is it blue now? Why is it blue? Huh? There were no decisions. I'm confused. Maybe it's not as complicated as I once thought? Because I did that one now. Okay. Alright. Let's do a local explanatory meeting, and then we'll do the characters. Because it really feels like that there is some decisions to be had. But I don't know. Due to Tomitake's promise is required. A draft of an emergency manual is required. So it's not going to tell me which ones I have, right? I'm just going to have to assume and quote-unquote put together the fragments, right? So it's not going to be a literal putting together the fragments. I actually had to do a little presentation on the village Hidemizawa was based on 2 weeks back. It's so pretty, I really want to go. Yeah, I've seen the pictures. It's really, really nice. It is really, really nice looking. Okay, let's do a local explanatory meeting. This one. Oh, right. From the beginning, they said this is all going to be Hanyu's perspective at this point. So that's why it's quote-unquote third person, because it's all just Hanyu. Wait. Yeah, because Hanyu can separate herself from Rika and just go off. So it would make sense that she would know stuff that Rika doesn't know. So the dam construction will bring in new jobs and revitalize the local industry. That's not what we're saying! Who the hell gave you permission to build a dam here? You squeeze tax money from us and this is what we get in return? Who do you think pays your salaries, huh? Look, we're trying to explain to you. We don't want to hear your excuses. We want to know when you'll stop the construction. You're useless. Bring the Minister of Construction here. They'll get to the bottom of it. Shut up, you yuppie? What the? I've never heard that before. Hey, you're paid with our tax money, so why the hell are you talking down to us from up there? Come down here and let's speak face to face. The auditorium is filled with angry shouting. The sign at the entrance says, Hidemizawa Dam Construction Explanatory Meeting. Every time the officials on the stage tried to say anything, Citizens packed into the room silenced him with their shouts. Trying to ignore them, the official continued to explain the pros of the dam. But that just further infuriated them. Between the stage and the citizens, there was an open area where the police squad is standing by. If they weren't there, the citizens would jump onto the stage and start a riot. I'm watching all this from the back of the auditorium. It's obvious to anyone they're being swallowed by their anger. They become filled with bloody rage. I'm not gonna do a voice just for narration. Unless she says something, I guess. They become filled with a bloody rage. The anger that came from a certain purpose becomes a purpose in itself, and it creates a vicious cycle where anger leads to more anger. Anger is a necessary emotion for humans. People face many difficulties in their lives. Anger gives them the motivation to fight and conquer such difficulties. Therefore, anger is an essential part of life itself. So I will never reject anger itself. However, anger like this, that goes far beyond normal, makes people forget their purpose. That is no longer an essential part of life. As the blood rushes to their head, a person can't even remember what they've done. They go out of control. Such emotions are very painful, sad, and difficult to endure. You can clearly see the villagers who live alongside us turning into demons. I understand the rules of the human world. The power of an individual can't be compared to the power of the government. To be able to fight, an individual needs to become part of a larger, unified power. But to steer that unified power in the right direction, is extremely difficult. The cycle of anger leads to more anger. Not anger that helps you live, but anger that exists only for anger. It's just like being a demon. And this emotion is capable of violently rousing us from our long, peaceful slumber. Everyone is immersed in their own anger. We lived peacefully with the villagers while we slept quietly. Yet now we've awakened, and it's like the world is trying to return to that age when demons were said to rise from the Onagafichi swamp. Keep shouting at everyone to get them to calm down. My voice can't reach them, because of the vicious cycle of anger. Even so, I'll continue shouting, hoping even one of them will hear my voice. Because if I don't do anything, the demons may awaken. The demons that went into deep sleep may reawaken because of this commotion. Is the demons the Higumizawa syndrome? Technically. Then, all of a sudden, the atmosphere changed. Looking up, I saw that the angry exchange between the villagers and those on the podium had devolved into confrontation between the villagers themselves. What's going on? Shut up! Those are your reasons, not ours. Don't pull us into this, you old hag. Who the hell cares? The hell you say, you bastard? Hey, do you know who you're talking to? This is Audio-san. You've got some nerve, huh? Who do you think you are? Shut up. Sonozaki? So what? I'm Hojo. Get your goons away from me. Your goons. Hey, Hojo. How dare you say you want the village to be submerged? How much are they paying you? Shut up, you old geezer. Listen, there are plenty of poor people in Higumizawa. Not everyone is rich and has fields all over the mountains like you do. I'm satisfied with the compensation from the government. They've even offered to provide us with public housing. Yet you're ruining everything, you assholes. Don't pretend you're the same as us. Even if you want to fight with the government, why don't you fight by yourself? Then who's going to pay? You? I'm poor and have 2 kids at home. I was planning to start a new life by leaving here in peace after getting compensation from the government and finding a job elsewhere. But you, since when did you represent me, huh? You think you're that important or what? Hey, Hojo, how dare you betray us? Then get out of this village. Sure, I'd be happy to. But you're going to pay what I'm entitled to, right? You're going to pay me every yen of the compensation I was going to get from the government? Even if I wanted to leave the village, I don't have the money. You're going to pay me, I'll leave straight away. Hojo is right. There are plenty of residents who are willing to leave. You 3 families shouldn't drag us into this. The hell is this? Who just spoke? Come on, who was it? If you want to stay, then stay. We have the right to leave, so don't interfere. That's right. Back the hell off, you damn Sonozaki hag. Jesus Christ. Sonozaki hag? Of course we'll compensate the people who support the dam construction plan. We most certainly will not steal the land from you. Shut up, government dog. Are you trying to divide the village? Die, Hojo. You don't deserve to breathe the village air. Hold your breath and suffocate to death. Screw you, old hag. I'll murder your ass. Oh my god. Thank you for the hydration. Step up front, you damn hag. Oh god. Hey, stay out of this, you fat pig. Very good. That was very good, Hojo. I haven't been this pissed off in so long. You'll get what you deserve. You'll get what you freaking deserve. Look forward to it. Get him, Hojo. The government has to provide us new jobs, shelter, and compensation. Hey, stop this violence. All of you, stop it. Like hell, bring it on. Come and get some. Everyone is being tainted with the bloody red anger. And I can only watch. The least I can do is to apologize for the tragedy that is about to happen. Yeah, I can definitely see why the village gang together to murder the freaking Hojos. I'm sorry. This is how things started. From this day onward, Hojo family and Sonozaki family will wage a feud against each other. The Hojo family will become ostracized within the village. This marks the beginning of Satoko and Satoshi's lives of tremendous hardship. Huh. Repeated apology hat? I don't think so. I don't think that's the repeated apology. I think the repeated apology probably refers to Rena. But I'm not very sure. I like that it highlights which ones we've done before. A conflict between the Hojo family and Sonozaki family is required. Self-introduction of Satoko Hojo is required. Oh, so that's what I got. This is the conflict of the Hojo family and the Sonozaki family. So if we do Satoko Hojo, then we'll be able to do this with the Hojo siblings. Ho 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 ho! Ho 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 ho! Got it. I'm putting things together, huh? Okay. Next is the characters. Let's do Irie and then Tomitake and then both Hojos. And then we can start connecting things, I think. Okay. So first is Irie! Hello, Irie. Group physical exams are very meaningful for our research. Although it's only for certain age groups, we can examine many of the Hinamizawa residents at the same time. The perfect cover for our research center. Also, because of several arrangements, we have a monopoly on the villagers' corpses and can perform autopsies on them. Jesus Christ, okay. There certainly wasn't an environment this rich in opportunity for those in the medical field. Our follow-up on the work of the late Dr. Takano is going smoothly. The amount of data he compiled is absolutely astounding. He truly was an incredible researcher. Excuse me, Director. Oh, Takano-san. Thanks for your work. We just received the test results from Tokyo. Here they are. Thank you. It's getting interesting, isn't it? I'm glad we can share this joy. Takano-san is my assistant, who was sent from the Self-Defense Force. Oh! There was two of them! There was two of them! For a split second, there was two of them! That was horrifying. But she's far from the image I have of an SDF officer. Just like our research is being concealed, maybe our identity is concealed too. Sure, her name is an alias as well. Just a doctor and a researcher. Without Takano-san's support, it would be impossible for me to manage this institution. She's a pipeline to her clients in Tokyo, my assistant, as well as a researcher who's an expert on Hinamizawa syndrome. Her existence is absolutely necessary here. The more I think about it, the more I feel that this should have been the Takano Institute rather than the EDA Institute, and she should have been the director. But that was explained to me when they asked me to take this position. My client wanted a civilian to manage this place. They searched for a person who met the requirements, and there I was. I became the director. I have a feeling I'm just a puppet on their strings. But I won't just sit here and do nothing. I was asked to research a rare disease. I am a researcher, so of course I'm excited about that. My client's goals may be different, but I'm here out of the desire to unravel the mysteries of Higurashi syndrome, and be the first person to uncover a new mystery for mankind. We have all this data to suggest the existence of a parasite is the cause of the syndrome, yet we still can't find factual evidence of the culprit microbe itself. That's true. I thought we'd find it easily if we used the electron microscope. Viruses are too small to see with the regular microscope, so the invention of the electron microscope was a dramatic advancement in the world of medicine. However, it's very expensive. There's no way for a normal doctor to acquire one. The late Dr. Takano said an electron microscope could find the cause of a disease, but it seems his theory has been proven wrong. See, that's what gets me. They said it was like a parasite, right? But wouldn't that be very easy to see under a microscope? And like viruses are too small. So, and if they haven't been able to look at it, but it seems this theory was proven wrong. So they can't even see it under an electron microscope. Even Takano-san was hoping an electron microscope would find it. She was disappointed when she didn't uncover anything after all the autopsies she's performed. Our research seemed to be having its first snag. It has actually stalled our work for several weeks now. So we need to think about where to go from here. Which means they're either smaller than microscopic, or maybe there's something wrong with the specimen itself. What do you mean? For example, as you know, wild mice have tons of fleas on them. You can't find fleas on dead mice. It's because when the mouse dies, their habitat dies as well. So if the host dies, the parasite's world will end too? So, you're saying the parasite would leave before they die. So there'd be none left? But even if that's true, I feel like you would find... Well, I guess. But it's like, you can't really compare fleas to a parasite because... And as a parasite, the immune system is constantly fighting it. So there would be some evidence of the parasite having existed there. Like fragments of the parasite or things like that. But I guess they would be hard to identify if you don't know what you're looking for. But... That's right. Just like you won't find a living human in a post-apocalyptic world. Therefore, we just have to look into the earth before it ends, right? Therefore, we just have to look into the earth before it ends, right? Of course, the hee-hee is always Takano. It's true. However, we need to think about human rights. Oh, that's the first time he's mentioned that. Hard to look into a brain while the patient is still alive. Oh, here we freaking go. Oh, yeah. Speaking of, it was really interesting because, last time we talked about psychosurgery, right? And I was like, I have heard of this before. So I looked up in my neuroscience book and I found it. That it is basically, what's it called? Lobotomies plus just going into the brain and removing things just because they can. Just to see what happens. And that the guy actually did win a Nobel Prize for it. So Higurashi was telling complete truth last time over what that was, and which I never doubt Higurashi. Anytime they say something, it's freaking true. We've been fact-checking it all the time whenever it says something, and it's always true. Higurashi knows what it's freaking talking about. Examining a living human's brain, no matter how you sugarcoat it, that bore very grave meaning. From a medical standpoint, it's necessary. We have rules and morals in this world. We have to advance medicine within such boundaries. There was a time when I was studying lobotomies for the betterment of mankind. I don't think I was wrong. However, could I be forgiven under our ideas of ethics? I don't know. One day, my judgment will be handed down by the devil. Whether I'm guilty or not, I have to accept it. As I reflected upon my past, I heard a voice. It was Takano-san's. It was very clear and simple, yet it struck me with surprise. Understood? Let me prepare a world on the verge of death. What? I'm startled. I am more than startled. Sometimes the phrase advancing medicine bore the whisper of the devil, tempting us to accept sacrifices. Heard that devil whisper. It's not that difficult. I just have to find a Hinmizawa resident who's about to die, after all. But even if they're about to die, who would be brave enough to provide their body for research while still alive? Don't worry about that. They're dying anyway. We're just going to put them to sleep a little sooner. On paper, of course. The patient would be legally declared dead even though they're still alive. We'd perform an autopsy while they're still alive. That's impossible. Besides, if we perform a neurological surgery, we'll have to do a circular incision on the cranial area. The family will notice the marks for sure. That's where we come in. I'll have the mountain dogs look for a patient in the local hospital that matches our needs immediately. All you have to do is wait for it with a knife and a fork in your hands. And a fork? Why a fork? I'll bring your meal right away. Ew, don't freaking say that. Mio Takano-san is my partner. There's no question about that. But I just can't trust her. It's her extremities as a researcher which contrast largely with mine. But are we so different? I'm here simply waiting with a knife and a fork in my hands, just as she told me to. I just don't want to witness such a gruesome scene, that's all. What she's preparing for me now is exactly what I want. Who's the hypocrite? Not her. It's me. How can I say I'm different, knowing what I've done in the past? I perform lobotomies without the patient's consent, despite it being surgery that might affect their life forever. How is that different from what she's doing? I've never doubted my past achievements. However, when I look at her, I start to feel unease. It's probably because she enjoys it more than she's supposed to. You know, at least Irie feels a little bad about it, but she's just like, no worries, no problem, I got this. Takano-san is talking to Okanogi-san on the intercom in my office. I'm sure she's telling him to come over so she can explain to him what was just discussed. I'm simply watching without stopping her. I begin to reflect up on my past, to remember why I chose to become a doctor. Dang. These fragments are pretty short. But I guess there is a lot of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 7 is 48? Yeah? No. Something like that. 56! Okay, yeah, that's a lot more than 48. No. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 missing here. So it's actually 50. It's actually straight 50. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. Okay, and then we just got the reflection of EDA. Okay. The research needs to have stagnated. Is that what would happen? I think that's what happened. So these aren't decisions. These are just the things that have happened in particular fragments. Completion of the medicine. Slide fever. Bottle of wine for a toast. Okay. I need to write down what we learn from each of these. So the dam construction operation withdrawal. We learned about the Hojo versus the Sonozaki. Kyosuke ADA, we learned stagnation. I don't think we learned about how he became a doctor though. Or why. Because I know that's something, right? Okay. A local explanatory meeting. A local explanatory meeting was the Hojo versus Sonozaki. Okay, so what was the dam construction project withdrawal? This one? What did we learn from that? I'm not sure. But that's okay. We don't need to know right away, I guess. Okay, let's keep going. Tomitake time. Tomitake time. Hello, Tomitake. Forecast said that there was a chance of rain in the evening. I didn't think it would rain so hard. Decided to wait at an abandoned bus stop for the rain clouds to clear. And that's where I met Rika. Because she always hangs out at these places. I'm sorry, Takano-san. Oh, don't be, Jiro-san. I knew it'd pour, so don't worry about it. Takano-san giggled. Although she said the weather might change suddenly, I dragged her out here. Feel stupid for making her come along and ending up ruining her precious day off. I have to go back to Tokyo tonight, so it'll be a while before I can return to Hinamizawa. I don't want to spend my last day at a cheap hotel in Okinomiya, so I asked her to go for a stroll. It's just... I'm really sorry. She teased me for a while, but only a little. She wasn't actually enjoying driving me into a corner. It's just her way of communicating, and I find it very charming. Oh, I think I've become captivated by her. But on her part, I'm just an auditor from Tokyo. But she's being nice to me. It's definitely not because she likes me personally. So I feel like I might have used my position to drag her out here. That makes me a little depressed. Probably should think this slight fever I have is due to nothing more than a cold. But she was the type of person who made it clear when she disliked something. She wouldn't say so directly, but she would use all kinds of indirect expressions that meant the same thing. So I want to believe she's out here, because she might even be a little bit attracted to me. Shook my head as I frowned upon my selfish thoughts. She chuckled, as though she knew what I was thinking. Felt myself starting to go red after that. You're a mysterious person, Jiro-san. I bet women don't leave you alone, huh? So why are you hanging out with a weirdo like me? A weirdo? No way. You're fascinating, Takano-san. Actually, I feel bad for making you spend a day with someone like me. Of course, I've decided to devote my life to work, but life is too dry with only that. I need to switch gears once in a while. Besides, communicating with the opposite sex is good for the brain. It's all good if I manage to help you clear your head. Don't you feel refreshed just being with me? She gives me an impish smile that makes my heart skip a beat. Tried hiding my embarrassment so she wouldn't notice even my ears going red. Of course, when I'm with you, you know, I do feel refreshed, yeah. Besides, if you learn about avian photography, I'll gain a buddy to share my hobby with. So next time, I'll bring my old camera. It's really expensive to buy a new one, you know? Thank you. I would love to learn about the avian photography that you're so intrigued by. I'm looking forward to joining you on a stroll next time you go. So I don't need to buy a camera, do I? No. Try it with my old camera first, and if you enjoy it, then you can buy one for yourself. I'll send it to you when I get back to Tokyo. Thank you. Then I'll have to critique my photos when you come next time. Sure. I can hardly wait to see them. They'll be nothing compared to yours. It'd be my very first time doing it, you know. She keeps her cool and smiles. All I can do is blush and scratch my head. Am I being conceited? Can't help but think that Takano-san likes being with me. If it's mere flattery, I don't think she'd come along this far. Oh no, no, no. Taking women's flattery seriously is the mistake I always make. Shouldn't assume that she's attracted to me. By the way, isn't this the first time we've been alone like this? Yeah, you're right. Usually the director or some other research staff is around. I don't know anything about you. I don't know exactly what you do in Tokyo or what you've done in the past. I wonder what you do in the self-defense force. I was an instructor for a while, but I hurt my eye when I was injured. I can live life normally, but they made a big deal about it, and ever since all I do is desk work. Takano-san giggles, saying I must have done something silly to cause the injury. And I helped PR with their magazine. I became fascinated by photography. Cameras have the power to make people happy. I bet you don't know what I'm talking about, but it's true. Since I started to take pictures, my life has been a lot happier. Making a camera makes someone happy. Well, a camera takes a snapshot of a moment of life. Of course, you want to capture a moment that's filled with happiness, right? So you look for happiness throughout the viewfinder. And as you search, you realize your everyday life is actually filled with happiness. For example, dandelion sprouting from the crack of asphalt is just a weed in busy life. When you look at it through a viewfinder, it's a gift to let you know that spring is approaching. Capture it and put it in an album. And every time you open the album, you remember the happy feeling you had when you took the picture. So you always feel that way when you take your pictures? Sure. I don't have the ambitions of taking artistic photos or capturing the dramatic prize-winning moment. That's not important to me. I want those moments we don't notice. And helping us recognize those little moments of happiness is the greatest thing about cameras to me. So I'm really glad to be able to see Hinamizawa through my viewfinder. He's so based. VampyTK, such a king. Oh my god. I do something very similar when I take pictures. Though it's not through viewfinders through my stupid iPhone. Has very horrible quality, but it takes very, very nice pictures of nature, I think. I have a tendency to go overboard when I talk, but most of the time, Takano-san playfully twists my words right back at me. It's very unusual for her to listen to me like this. Takano-san sat down next to me, tried to fiddle with my camera. I don't know how much of an impression I made, but I think she is indeed interested in cameras. I was expecting her to tease me like usual, so I'm happy to see that this is her reaction. You want to try? Do you think I can? It's easy. First you need to learn how to focus and press the shutter. Why don't you hold it? Oh, don't ever touch the lens though. Ooh, this isn't easy. She seemed to show an interest in cameras. I wanted to take a walk around Hinamizawa and take some pictures of the scenery. But unfortunately, the rain doesn't seem to want to stop. She was still having fun, kept taking pictures inside the bus stop. The first set of pictures she ever took were the odd things in that dark little building. Since then, every time we'd meet, we'd end up walking around the village with our cameras in our hands. That's so cute! What a frick! What a nice little fragment this is. What a wonderful fragment that is. What did we learn from that? We learned photography. We learned beauty. We learned... Mitake's slight fever. He did have a slight fever, right? Slight fever. Right? If only she wasn't a psychopath. So true. What the heck? Prior consent for the collection of cerebrospinal fluid. Oh, they're getting consent? Very nice. Kyosuke Irie's reminiscence is required. Reminiscence. Did we get that? Hold on. I want to click on something and see what happens if we click on something and we don't have it. I just want to see what happens. This fragment can't be connected yet. I see. Ah! What'd I do to it? What did I do? Frick! What did I do to it? What did I do to it? Did I break it? I broke the fragment! No! 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 I have to be able to get it back. Right? It can't just... No! No. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that, right? It's okay, don't worry. Okay. Okay. Spaghetti King on YouTube knows what he's talking about. Okay. What happens if I click it again? Hold on. Hold on, hold on. I save. I save. Okay, and I load. And I can do it again. This fragment can't be connected yet. Okay, we're good. Nothing crazy happens. What do- oh wait, can I just click on every single one of these? No. Okay. Next we got Satoshi Hojo. Yippee, Satoshi! Or Satoko. We'll do Satoko first because we know about Satoko. We'll do Satoshi after Satoko. And then we can do the Hojo siblings. Yippee! Satoshi. Where's Satoko? There you are. Satoko, hello. Oh my god, Keiichi! Hello! I'm so excited to be able to see him again. It's been so long. I love him so much. Okay. Satoko. My name is Satoko Hojo. Yep, that's me. But Hojo is my current father's family name. I was also Satoko Hatake, Satoko Yoshizawa, also Satoko Matsura. Those are my previous fathers. Still not used to being called a Hojo-san. Dude, she's 7, and yet she's been all those different names. That's pretty rough. Someone calls me Satoko, then I know that person is talking to me. Because Satoko is the name I've been using since I was born. I don't understand why my mother keeps getting married and divorced. She's going to get a divorce. Why does she get married? She's married. Why does she get a divorce? I've asked her before, but depending on the situation, her answers were different. When I asked her when she was married, she got angry. When I asked her after she got divorced, she cried. 7? I thought she was at least 11. No. Keiichi is 13. Rena is 14. Mion and Shion are 15. And Rika and Satoko are around 7, 8. Yeah, if I'm correct. When I asked her after she got divorced, she cried. I don't understand the meaning of marriage. So I have no interest in drawing pictures of a bride in a wedding dress. I don't think I'll ever get married. I don't want to keep changing my child's last name. My teacher once asked if I liked my mother. I think it was when I was in kindergarten in Okinomiya. That was a very difficult question. Sometimes I loved her very much, and sometimes I hated her very much. I couldn't decide. When my mother was nice, she smiled all the time. She made us happy. She thanked me for being her daughter. When my mother wasn't nice, she frowned all the time. She treated my brother and me very poorly. She told me I should have never been born. My teacher asked me if I liked my father. That was a very easy question, because I always hated him very much, no matter who he was. Oh. The new fathers always treated me nicely at first, as if I were their real daughter. They always told me I could think of them as my real father. They couldn't be my real father. Besides, I didn't even know my real father's face. How could I call them my father? I couldn't. That was disgusting. Right before divorce, my fathers always became very irritated with me. They treated me like a cockroach. Told me they didn't have money to feed me. They threw things at me. They locked me out of the veranda. Out on the veranda. I was told I could forget about them because that was all in the past. I think that was a different teacher from a different school. Maybe that's true. Because ever since Hojo became my father, my mother has been smiling. I haven't seen them get into a fight, as I've seen happen just before a divorce. They have little arguments here and there, but those don't lead to a divorce, and they always make up. But I'm sure they'll get a divorce sooner or later. Then I'll be in the same old stuff with the family court, divorce settlements, night flight, child support. Who knows how long this Hojo will be my father. That's why I don't even feel like calling him that. He also treated me well at first. When I didn't call him father even after he asked me repeatedly, he became irritated. They'll get a divorce soon. My father gets into this mood. A divorce is on the way. After a divorce, it's my mother's turn to be irritated with me. And she'll tell me she shouldn't have had me, or she can't be happy because of me. Why is my existence causing problems for my mother? I asked my brother and he told me, if you have children, it's not easy to find someone to get married with. To my mother, remarriage is a very important job. I can understand having children around will cause that problems. I think I finally understand the reason why I'm a nuisance to her. I asked my brother something else. Why are children hated by new fathers? Well, that's simple. Because family members all have different roles. Mother's job is to love her children. And a father's job is to love the mother. That means I'm a nuisance to both my mother and my father. My brother is more mature than me, so they don't look down on him as a nuisance. Maybe I am. No, I'm definitely a nuisance. So now I know. Both my mother and father want me dead. But if they kill me, they'll be caught. That doesn't mean they won't kill me. If I were to look down the cliff, if no one was around, my mother and father would push me off for sure. My father has become abnormally nice to me recently. Started to act that way ever since I made the fake call. Oh, the fake call. That is... I see. That's been talked about before. I know for sure that it's just a part of a plot to kill me. So I won't let them trick me. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Lately, when I listen very carefully, I can hear a voice apologizing. That voice sounds similar to mine. Or their mother must be telling her that she shouldn't have been born. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Huh. Curious. Because that happened to Hanyu. But I won't apologize like that. I'll live. I'm going to strike back. I'll kill before I get killed. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Why does the text become red? Remember the red text in Sumihoroboshi? I do. Is the red text the sign that they're becoming infected? Or the syndrome is getting worse? Because I don't remember it meaning anything. Okay, what did we learn from that? What did we learn? Satoshi, conflict, self-introduction of Satoko. Is that a self-introduction? I don't think what she said was a self-introduction, I'll be completely honest, but... The syndrome worsens with stress. Yes, it does. Satoko Hojo's test result. Section point, hospitalization. Yeah, it had to have been... I mean, she introduced herself, it was just very dark. Yeah, okay. That's okay. Self-intro. Yes, I'm actually writing all this down in a book. Well, on a notepad. I still don't know what we learned from the dam construction operation withdrawal, but... Time to do Satoshi! Yippee! Okay. Satoshi, Satoshi, Satoshi. Hello! When I asked Rika-chan She said Satsuko might have possibly gone up to the mountain behind the shrine. She's fond of going there. The mountain is covered in with trees, vines, and fallen logs. She really likes the area. Any child would dream of having a secret base. And to Satsuko, her secret base is the whole mountain. However, the mountains were undeveloped territory, making them a dangerous place that was easy to get lost in. So her brother, I'm a little concerned that she spent so much time on it. Maybe I should worry more about myself getting lost, since I rarely come here. The mountain gets dark quickly when evening falls. If I still can't find her, I should look for her somewhere else. Satsuko! Satsuko! I'm yelling as loud as I can, but in the woods, my voice doesn't carry that well. According to Rika-chan, she's been making her secret base in this area. She goes up there alone to expand it. What does she mean by expand it? It's a secret base. She must not want anyone to find it. Does that mean she set up some traps? Considering that, I should have noticed the traps on the mountain before one got me. What? Suddenly, my foot sunk into the ground and snagged on something like a jump rope tied beneath dried leaves. I heard some noise from up above, then a big ball made of branches fell right next to me. It had to be one of the playful traps Satsuko loved. If I wasn't so lucky, I'm sure the ball would have hit my head.
Oh my, look who's here. It's you, Nini.
Satsuko! No! This kind of horseplay is dangerous.
Did you not see the sign put up by the Forestry Service? It clearly states it's dangerous to come into these woods. My wonderful traps will welcome anyone who ignores that warning. Oh ho ho!
As her brother, I should stop her from doing things like this. When I see her brilliant smile, can't say anything else. Haven't seen that smile in some time. By the way, Satsuko, weren't you told to come home by evening since you were going out for dinner? Since we're going out for dinner?
I don't want to go. Why don't our mother and father go by themselves? If you want to, you can go with them, Nini.
Are you still angry at father? Ooh.
He threw an ashtray at me.
No. That happened with our previous father. Oh god. Our current one hasn't done that.
He locked me out of the veranda. He didn't feed me lunch. He complained I got him the wrong brand of cigarettes. Then he slapped me in the face saying I shouldn't be a picky eater. And then...
She isn't talking about our current stepfather. Things about all of our different stepfathers have mixed themselves up in her head. Every time our mother remarried, we had to call a different man our father. The word father isn't a word that should be taken lightly. If you don't truly acknowledge a man as your father, how can you call him that? That's how much weight it carries. However, just to make things smooth and peaceful, I used the word father even if I didn't want to. It was too difficult for Satsuko, young as she was, to do the same. Ever since Satsuko was very little, she's been having troubles with all of our stepfathers. She's never opened up to her current one. Satsuko, father figure is no longer someone she can trust. It's true that our current stepfather doesn't have any experience being a parent, so he sometimes gets rather upset with her. But ever since the incident where Satsuko called the child abuse hotline, her stepfather regretted his mistakes and tried his best to communicate with her. Even my mother realized how much Satsuko has suffered emotionally when it was pointed out by the social worker. She's doing her part in trying to bring Satsuko back into the family. Yeah, I really feel like the Hojo, he is a decent person. He really is trying his best for his kids. Because, like, they weren't born in the village. They don't really have any super strong connection to it. It's like, take the money, go, have a good life with your kids. I can completely understand that, even if it's quote-unquote against the village. It's not your business. You know, you do what's best for your family. And if that means leaving, that's what leaving is. Ah, that sucks, knowing what happens. But... Satsuko completely refuses to even try. Understandable, though. Childhood has been filled with misery. Satsuko can only open up to me. So I have to be the one and only family member she can trust. Otherwise, she'll be all alone in this world. But a brother and a sister alone can't be considered a family. Says who? Even if we don't get along now, we continue to communicate, even in a small way. May be able to become a real family someday. Satoko, our current stepfather is getting nicer. He says he wants to make up with you.
That's news to me.
That's because every time he tries to say something, you run away. He wants to talk to you. He says he won't make you eat pumpkin anymore.
That's a lie. He said I couldn't leave until I ate my pumpkin and he tied me to the chair.
Again, he isn't talking about our current stepfather. Satoko, just come home with me, okay? Mother got a free dinner coupon, and we don't want it to go to waste, do we? We already have the reservation, so we have to go today.
Why don't you go, Nini? I prefer staying home alone.
Satoko usually doesn't stay out playing this late. She knows we're going out, and that's why she's out here alone. Although I want to snap at Satoko, I control myself. Because she only has me. I can't scare her. Please, let's go home, Satoko. You don't have to decide to go or not right now. You can think about it after we get there. Besides, without your help, I can't find my way down the mountain.
Nini, I brought you here so many times already, and yet you still haven't learned. What am I going to do with you, Nini?
Satoko holds out her hand. She often says she's embarrassed to hold my hand in front of people. She's holding out her hand right now. I took that hand. Satoko's fragile hand. I have to protect her, as her big brother. Let's go home, Satoko.
Sure.
Aww. Oh, they're so precious. They're so precious. Something is so precious. Like, in all the chapters, it always starts really wholesome, right? But I feel like this chapter is even more wholesome. Which means the trauma will be even worse than any of the previous chapters. Which is, I don't know how possible that is. I think the worst things ever got was when, like, I can't remember, it was chapter 3, I think? I don't know. What was a chapter where the entire village died? The entire village died? I think that's probably the worst it got. And then the whole thing with, her uncle getting killed by Keiichi, but he didn't actually die. And then the village all dying, like, that's probably the worst it got. But I'm assuming, somehow, you know, in all these fragments, it's gonna get worse. Okay. Footsteps following Hojo Satoshi? Ooh. Okay, and then, what did we get? Gentle breeze, detailed test. Satoshi's awareness of sins. Chapter 3 was a real downer, that's when I started crying. I think my first cry from Higurashi. When they cry, when the audience cries. I think the first time I cried was chapter 5. And yeah, just chapter 5 hit so much harder at the time because I just lost my cat. And Shion talking about how much she missed Satoshi hit so hard. I had to stop playing and just have a good cry for like 10 minutes and then come back. It was crazy. When we cry. So true. So true. I'm trying to figure out, what did we learn from that? Watermelon, mysterious death. Satoshi Hojo's awareness of his sins? No. I don't think we learned anything from that. Did we? Well, sometimes we don't learn anything, and that's fine. Right? Death of Pawns? No. Repetitive apologies. Huh. So Satoshi must not allowed to revisit his sister. Satoshi Hojo's sense of responsibility. That's what it is. That's what we got. Sense of responsibility. That's what it is. Okay. And that's all of them. So now we have to do one that is connected. Which I think the most obvious one would be the Hojo siblings. The Hojo siblings. Okay, let's do that one. We had to have had this one, right? Yeah, haha, let's go. Okay. The Hojo family is well known for going against the whole village during the dam conflict. Both the husband and the wife were rather aggressive. They fought a fierce battle, especially against the Sonozaki family. Although the whole village treated them coldly, the husband and wife didn't really care, kept on fighting. In a way, they were extremely strong-willed people. I'm sure their children had to go through a lot because of them, though. Satoko-chan and Satoshi-kun were treated coldly by the villagers as well. In addition to that, Satoko-chan and her stepfather didn't get along, so their stress levels must have reached their limit. Because I'm the director of the local clinic, a rather respected member of society, people usually tell me a lot of things. I was aware of the treatment they were receiving even before I met them. I met Satoshi-kun first. Satoshi-kun came to the clinic because he felt ill from too much stress. Must have thought he had a cold. When I examined him, he even told me that. By hearing his repeated sighs, and by seeing the exhausted look in his eyes, I knew right away it wasn't just a simple cold. He was depressed. Medication would heal his symptoms. That'd only be a temporary measure. The only way to truly cure him would be to change his living environment. That was easier said than done. He was surrounded by tangled and complicated relationships with the village and his family, so just resting for a few days and taking some medication wouldn't do. Time was the only thing that could ease off the cold treatment from the villagers. We were talking a very, very long time. So I felt I had to be their first ally in this village, so I could rescue them. Couldn't do anything about his stressful environment, but I could try to diminish the anxiety. Wait a freaking second. Wait a freaking second, I just realized something. Oh my god. Okay. Satoshi most likely got Higurashi syndrome pretty bad and killed his aunt. Then Hirie Takano found this out and took him right before he was going to die to dissect him. That had to have been why he disappeared and why no one could find him. That's the only thing I can think of, which is really messed up, if true. But I really think... Wasn't that the same in the anime? I don't know. I mean, I watched only the first season of the anime. Although they didn't mention dissection. No freaking spoilers! I think you know more than me. What the frick? Don't say anything. What? It's okay. I've only seen the first season, so I only know all the questions. I don't know the answers. This is me just saying things, you know? But that tells me that I'm on the right track. That's so insane, though! Oh my god. Oh my god. I thought the best way was to teach him how to vent his stress. Playing sports is the best way to do that, so I asked him to join the junior baseball team that I coach. As a researcher, I devote most of my time to the Higurashi syndrome, but I too need to do something else to relax. I used to play baseball, so I decided to coach the local kids team. For a while, the children of Higurashi started their own baseball team, and somehow I became their coach. Doctors can't provide health just by giving medication. You need a sound mind and a sound body, a sound soul. I believe health can be maintained through sports as well. But our team needed more people. I thought of asking Satoshi-kun to join. Being a bookworm, Satoshi-kun wasn't interested in playing sports. He wasn't sure how joining the baseball team would help his situation. I didn't need to go on and on about athletic medicine to explain why sports help people become healthy. I just wanted him to experience it himself, to realize how great it feels to play sports. I think he realized it gradually. He was reluctant until the very end. He attended all of the team activities and games. As I saw Satoshi-kun slowly regain his liveliness, I realized my plan worked. However, if Satoshi-kun was under that much stress, then Satoko-chan, who lived in the same family climate, must have felt the same way. Fortunately, I didn't think of her back then. So when Satoko-chan was carried into my clinic as a patient, I regretted doing nothing about her, even while knowing about the situation. As Satoshi-kun recovered under my guidance, Satoko-chan was left alone in her stressful environment. Also around that time, there was an incident bad enough to make Satoko-chan collapse. That was, of course, her parents' death. The day of the Watanagashi festival was a very uncomfortable time for the Hojo family, because although it was a village festival, it was also a day to celebrate victory over the dam construction project. It's understandable that they would plan a family trip around that time so they could leave the village. Satoko-chan's parents fell off a cliff at the park they were visiting. It happened on such an unlucky day. Because it happened on the day of Watanagashi, people said it was the curse of Oyashiro-sama. People labeled the Hojo family as one that was cursed by Oyashiro-sama. Parents were given the cold shoulder by everyone in the village. So with their parents gone, Satoshi and Satoko should have been freed from that, but fortunately, the accident happened on the day of Watanagashi, where the members of the Hojo family continued to be shunned. Satoko-chan was the only one who was at the site of the incident. Satoshi-kun didn't go on the trip because he had an event with the baseball team. Therefore, the police mainly interrogated her. The detective, Oishi, suspected an act of organized crime by the village, so with Satoko-chan as the only witness on site, he drilled her with questions. She was as stressed as Satoshi-kun, perhaps even more, so of course she couldn't take it. During the interrogation, she began to wheeze and gasp for air. The anguished look I saw on Satoko-chan's face when she was carried to the clinic was very, very tragic. It broke my heart just to imagine what she had to go through. Yeah, imagine seeing that and then being interrogated by questions by a police officer. Like, maybe it's just because it was, like, back then, but I feel like nowadays you approach interrogating children in a much calmer and, like, organized way, so as to not do that and traumatize them worse, you know? Coach, is Satoko okay? Yes, don't worry. She's a bit confused, but only temporarily. That's all. May I see her? She finally fell asleep, so I'd rather not wake her up just yet. Let's let her rest for a while. Maybe it's a good idea to have her stay here for a few days, too. Don't worry. Take good care of her. Thank you. I know Satoshi-kun is a great big brother who truly cares about his sister. Empathizes deeply with her. In other words, Satoshi-kun's worries and stress were reflecting on Satoko-chan herself. Maybe I shouldn't say this. While Satoshi-kun was, of course, sad about his parents' deaths, he may, at the time, have been a little relieved that they were gone. His sister wouldn't have to be driven into a corner anymore. Unlike Satoshi-kun, Satoko-chan didn't have the social skills to get along with her stepfather. So, putting her mother aside, I was certain that losing her father, the greatest cause of stress in her life, would bring great change to her home environment. I don't know if that's a good thing, though. Because then it's unresolved forever. You know? It doesn't bring any closure because she doesn't understand why things were happening the way they were happening. You know? If he had stayed alive and she were able to grow up with him and him trying his best to be a good father, I feel like she would have eventually understood what had happened to her when she was so young and understood what her problems were and why she was struggling, and being able to like cope with that in a good way. But now that he's dead, it's just like, oh, so now I will never have a father. And I will feel like this forever because there's no closure. And you just have to accept and move on instead of actually getting something resolved, you know? I don't know. That's just my take on it. But I couldn't believe what happened next. The two were sent to live in an even worse environment with their aunt and uncle. Although at that time I was rather optimistic, thinking this new environment would be better for the siblings. Oh, how wrong you were! Oh, how wrong you were! That is crazy! How wrong someone could be! Oh my god. Oh, the parents are dead! The object of stress for them are dead! This will be so good! Surely nothing bad will happen! Get sent to a worse place? Oh. Okay, what did we learn from that? Let's snoop around. I think we learned of, death, right? Their deaths? Parents' deaths. I just want to make sure that it's one of them. They are orphaned. Surely their lives will be much easier. Oh my god, right? Exactly. Okay, Satoshi must not be allowed to enter to visit his sister. Okay, I'm writing that down. Satoshi? Not allowed to visit sister. Okay, very cool. Okay, now we actually have to connect things. Frick, okay. Queen Carrier, no. Research stagnated, yes. Instructions, kidnapping, no. Repetitive apologies, maybe? Probably not. Satoshi Hojo's sense of responsibility, and Satoshi must not be allowed to see his sister. So, I think we have both of those. Yeah, I think we have both of those, so we should probably do this one. An accident at Shirakawa Park. I've never heard of this. No! What? Okay, so we don't have Satoshi Hojo's sense of responsibility. Then what was his introduction then? If it wasn't his sense of responsibility. Frick. Now my notepad is all messed up. We definitely got Satoshi not allowed to visit his sister. But how did we not get the sense of responsibility? What? Isn't it the first one? Yeah. We got this one. There's a sense of responsibility. Okay, let's try another one then. It's not that one. Yosuke Irie's reminiscence. Maybe I didn't catch Irie saying Satoshi isn't allowed to visit. Well, because Satoshi showed up and he was like, oh, I want to see my sister! And Irie says, hey, she's sleeping, so nah. That's what I'm assuming not allowed to visit meant. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong about either the sense of responsibility or not being allowed to visit. But I think that not being allowed to visit is correct, so sense of responsibility has to be wrong. Okay, a medicine, no. Rika's high fever, no. Yosuke Irie's reminiscence, possibly? Prior consent, no. 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 Yes. Conflict between Hojo family and Sonozaki family. Okay. So I can do that one, definitely. I just want to check the others. Revenge of Mio Takano? What the frick does that mean? Okay, Yeah. Let's do this one. Yeah. Rika Furu Day. I ran into Satoko on my way to the grocery store for my mother. Satoko said she was going there too. We decided to go together. After exchanging our shopping lists, it became easy to guess what the other family would be having for dinner. Satoko's family is having grilled fish and cooked vegetables. We're having Salisbury steak. Whoa, she appeared for a split second.
My, that sounds very good. I don't mind the grilled fish, but it's the vegetables I'm less fond of. I'm sure there's still plenty of pumpkin left from the other day. Then I bet you'll be getting a lot tonight. Poor Satoko. I don't appreciate knowing that pumpkin is going to show up on the dinner table. Ah, me. You don't like pumpkin no matter how it shows up. Rika, you have some food you're not fond of, don't you? That's right, you don't like daifuku, cream puffs, or anything sweet, don't you? It's not that I don't like those things. I just choose not to eat them. If I wanted to, I could eat sweets forever. I could even eat pumpkin pie, too. Nipa. Oh, it's not fair that you aren't a picky eater.
Conversations like this are how I have fun. Satoko is my best friend. I usually don't like grocery shopping, but if I'm with Satoko, I can make it into an enjoyable evening stroll. Near the supermarket, there's a grocer's and other shops, forming a little shopping district. The grocery store is busy this time of day. All the housewives in Himizawa gather here to shop. Since Satoko and I have different things to buy, we decided to do our shopping separately. Welcome, welcome! Oh, Rika-chama! Are you shopping for your mother? What a good girl.
Nipa. I'm a good girl who can do shopping by herself.
Wow, you really are a good girl. Here, I'll give you this. There were several candies for the owner's occasional asthma attack inside a sieve full of change hanging in the front. He picked out a sweet from there and gave it to me. It was my favorite flavor, strawberry milk. Writing this down. I've seen that. I've seen that. Strawberry milk. I love strawberry milk, actually. Strawberry milk is awesome. Hold on, I'm just rearranging my hints that I have. Oh, my sense of responsibility! Frick. What could that be? Okay. Put it in my pocket so I can brag about it to Satoko later. Get a lot of fun out of teasing Satoko and making her jealous. She always overreacts. I never get bored when I'm with her. What are you having for dinner tonight, Rika-chama? Ground pork, hmm?
We're making Salisbury steak. We're going to put flower-shaped fried eggs on top and draw pictures on them with ketchup.
Oh ho ho ho, that sounds like fun. I enjoyed that conversation while filling my shopping basket. But then I overheard some women whispering, talking about something that's a little harsh. Talking about Satoko. How long do those village traders plan to stay here? They should just leave. They don't even have the guts to go shopping themselves and make their daughter do it instead. The woman went on and on. Since the Hojo family and Sonozaki family got into a huge fight at the explanatory meeting for the dam project, the Hojo family has been ostracized within the village. At first, there were a significant number of families in favor of leaving, like the Hojos. The main branch of the Sonozakis led a push to completely solidify the village's opinion, and as that tone of unified resistance grew stronger, the pro-eviction family steadily grew quiet. Public harassment led by the Sonozakis and Kimiyoshis, two of the three families with powerful influence on the village, also played an effect too. Sonozaki family made the Hojo family into an example to ensure that there would be no more pro-evacuation supporters. The ancestors of the villagers have lived there for generations, and the villagers also know that they themselves will be buried in this village, so this harassment put a lot of pressure on them. Who was it that agreed to make the Hojo family the leader of the pro-evacuation group at the explanatory meeting? Those same people no longer said anything, and they even joined in on harassing the Hojo family. Harassment they faced then became pressure from the entire village. The Hojo family is hardly wealthy, and and they haven't paid the town council fees in a long time. When things were peaceful, nobody said anything about it. Now that the wind was blowing a different way, the Hojo family was asked to pay off all of their late council fees immediately. It wasn't an amount they could afford, but the Hojos recognized a fight was being picked with them, and they responded to it. And so, the Hojo family quit the town council. That only played right into the village's evil plan. Making an enemy of the town council meant facing vicious harassment. For example, the place the Hojos dumped their trash was a provisional dumping site established by the town council and the waste management department. Under the council agreement, only council members could use it. Ever since the day the Hojo family quit the village council, their trash bags were returned to their front door. Furthermore, all the bags were torn. On top of that, a sign went up on the hedge road near the Hojo family. It said, "Private road, no trespassing. Only council members permitted." Jesus Christ. A stubborn old man stood and guarded the road, saying that he would not let any of the Hojo family members pass through. Private road is private property opened up to the public, so it looks just like a normal road. However, as private property, the owner can forbid anyone else to pass through whenever they like. More and more, the village piled on vicious harassment. Fear of antagonism spread throughout the entire village. People became afraid that if they supported the Hojo family, they'd go through the same thing. This has made the Hojo family even more isolated. Grown-ups haven't told their kids about what's going on, so Satoko isn't harassed in any way at school. It wasn't hard to imagine she probably spent her days feeling so anxious she could hardly breathe. Even the women whispering in there aren't saying anything directly to Satoko. It's not like she doesn't notice their muttering and their cold stares. When did this village become so cold towards her? It's her best friend. It's very sad for me. Satoko's shopping experience is nothing like mine. When I say hello or buy things, I usually get treats or a discount. But that doesn't happen to Satoko. On the contrary, she's served last on purpose. Sometimes shop owners even pretended they don't hear her. Oh, come on, she's 7! Obviously, people don't want to have anything to do with her. Satoko had been weaving through the housewives crowding the shop, telling the fishmonger what she wanted, but she kept getting ignored. She's decided to keep her smile and pretended she doesn't mind, but I know. It's far too painful for her to endure. At that point, Satoko dropped her coins on the ground. Maybe her finger got stuck on something when she was trying to put the change back into her wallet. I ran through the crowd to help her pick them up. As I did, I noticed something. Satoko dropped a lot of coins and is struggling to pick all of them up, but nobody is helping her. It's not just that. It's almost like they're acting like they don't even see her there. Satoko isn't expecting anyone to help her, since she's the one who dropped them. But there's so many people around. Not even one is trying to aid her.
Satoko, I'll help you. I'm okay, Rika.
That reaction is all I need to know how hurt she is. Furthermore, when I started to help Satoko, other housewives started to pick up the coins too. Oh, that's so pathetic. That is so pathetic of them. Oh my god. As if it's the natural thing to do. They can only help if a shrine maiden of the Furude family does. If I didn't help, they would have disregarded her completely. The fact that other people helped only because I did hurts Satoko even more. Grab the coins from the housewives without thanking them. I'd rather spit at them than do that.
Thank you very much, Rika. Everyone?
If she didn't thank them, people would talk about that too. Satoko forced out her words of gratitude. The housewives looked down at her with blank expressions. I can't stand this. I can't stand what Satoko is going through right now.
If we're done, let's go, Satoko. Sure.
I grabbed Satoko's arm and pulled her away. I was frustrated, sad, and bitter. What has Satoko done? Reality is just too cruel. Everyone loves me. But can I share that love with Satoko? Satsuko must be wondering why people treat me so differently. I shouldn't come shopping with her. Or rather, I should have done her shopping instead.
Satsuko. What is it, Rika? I feel bad that you dropped your coins, so here's something that'll make you happy.
I wanted to ease her pain a little bit, so I pulled out the strawberry milk candy I just received. But Satsuko refused to take it.
That candy was given to you.
My hand froze. She saw me getting this candy.
That person wanted you to eat it. So if I did, it'd be rude.
Satsuko turned her back on me and kept walking. Without even saying goodbye, she continued on to her house with the shopping bags in her hands. I only wanted to ease her pain. I ended up rubbing salt in her wound. And I called myself her best friend. I could have crushed the candy right there. Aww. You didn't know. Pain. 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 Strawberry milk candy is required. Meow! What up, meow? It's been so long. The world requires Sato justice. It's true. It's actually freaking true. Mysterious death of the Furude couple. That must be what we have, but I don't know. We got strawberry milk candy. Yippee! Okay. Mio Sonazaki! Mion-san! Your friend is here! Heard the housekeeper's voice. Our house and the front yard are huge, so unlike normal houses, ringing a doorbell or yelling my name repeatedly, asking to play won't work. Okay, thank you. Who is it? Rika Furude-chama. Oh, finally? Can you tell Granny that Rika-chama is here? I think she's on the porch. I'll get the watermelon. Granny received many beautiful watermelons from somebody, so she wanted to share. I just called the Furude house a short time ago, and Rika-chan is here to pick one up. Did she come on her bicycle? I remember if it has a big enough basket. I pulled the watermelon from the well, thinking about that. Cold water in the well has refrigerated the watermelon, and the condensation makes it look delicious. 3 members of the Furude family will enjoy it for at least 2 nights.
Me? Am I supposed to take it home? I thought...
What? Didn't your dad tell you? Oh, the priest answered the phone, and I thought I told him to come pick it up. Maybe I wasn't clear enough, or maybe he misunderstood me completely. She's here to eat the watermelon, not to take it home. Besides, a small basket on Rika-chan's bicycle won't hold the watermelon. It's too dangerous for her to ride while holding it in her hands. Mion, why don't you help Rika-chan take the watermelon? There's no way she can ride her bicycle while carrying it.
Me, I can hold the watermelon.
No, that's too dangerous. Something happened to you, I wouldn't know what to say to Yashiro-sama. Mion will help you. Okay, I will. I'll go say hello to the priest too. No matter whether she rides or pushes her bicycle, Rika-chan's hands will be occupied. So I'm going to carry the watermelon. The sky is turning auburn in the sunset. The cool breeze feels good on my sandaled feet. The plastic bag I'm carrying contains the watermelon, and also some bags of rock candy. If her mother finds them, she'll take them away, so we decided to eat them before we got to her home. We opened the bags and enjoyed the rock candy. Rika-chan isn't an exception. Whenever kids from our neighborhood come to our house for errands, Granny gets them some treats. Actually, that's a pretty common rule here in Hinamizawa. It's funny, sometimes when parents aren't watching, siblings will fight over who gets to take the circular notice to the next house over. So these bags of rock candy are like tips for them. Of course, she doesn't normally give out this much. Usually it's just a little piece of it. Granny's being extra nice to Rika-chama.
I feel bad getting all this candy.
Don't worry, Granny loves you. You should just thank her and put a big smile on your face, that's all.
Do you get lots of treats?
I used to. But at this age, they don't give me any. If they did, though, I probably would feel I was being treated like a little kid.
Me, I'm being treated like a child then.
That's okay. Enjoy it while you can. When you become as old as me, you won't get any even if you wanted some. So we talked about ordinary things. I noticed Rika-chan seemed a little sad. What's wrong?
Whenever I run errands, I get candy as a treat, but Satoko doesn't get any, even when she comes with me.
I think of so many reasons why. Not only Satoko, but everyone in the Hojo family is being treated poorly in Hinamizawa. The Sonozaki family are the ones who instigated that. 2 dam supporters have died in an accident already. Writing this down. 2 dam supporters die. Perfect. Alright. But the malice against the Hojo family is still going. It's directed against Satoko and Satoshi, their children, and the aunt and uncle who are taking care of them. The big fight between the Hojo family and Sonozaki family at the explanatory meeting started all of this. But that was the Hojo couple, and it shouldn't have anything to do with the children and their aunt and uncle. But the idea that the Hojo family are traitors evolved on its own. Therefore, anyone bearing the Hojo name is to be treated poorly. The aunt and uncle weren't dam supporters, so over time, the attacks towards them should have stopped. But they're rather odd, and keep having trouble with their neighbors. They don't follow the community rules, they don't do their community duties, and they spray pesticide while their neighbor's laundry is still hanging outside. Oh my god. They often get into fights with the other villagers. They'd be hated even without the dam. Therefore, the Hojo family continues to be treated poorly. And none of that should have anything to do with Satoko and Satoshi. Satoko and Satoshi are often depressed at school. Tried to leave the conflict between the 2 families aside, but I wonder how they really feel about that. From their point of view, I'm just another member of the family that keeps harassing them. Who's saying this? I don't want any of that at school. That's why I try to be their friend while we're there.
How can we get that to extend outside too, instead of staying in the school?
That'd be pretty difficult. The Hojo family made enemies of the 3 families. They were branded as traitors, and that's still considered the truth. Wouldn't mean anything if one person suggested an end to the hostilities, just because the events around the dam are history now. On the contrary, that would just put them in the same position. Fortunately for Satoko and Satoshi, the only thing they can do is wait patiently until the issue withers away. All I can do for them is provide an oasis until that day comes.
So how long do they have to wait?
I don't know. Dam conflict lasted for several years. They were branded back then, so it might take years to clear up too.
You mean they won't be forgiven until they become adults? Will Satoko have to live out her childhood going through that?
That's pretty miserable, isn't it?
Me. We are their friends, aren't we?
Sure. They're my friends. We're all buddies.
Then isn't there something we can do to help our friends?
What exactly can we do? Even if the Sonozaki family declares that the dam conflict is over, so the Hojo family are no longer outcasts, that won't solve the problem. It's not that simple. In the first place, Granny hates the Hojo family, and won't suffer their name to be mentioned in their presence. It's not a matter of someone forgiving another. It's a matter of very complicated ties between the people in this village. It's absolutely terrifying to have them as their enemies. Everyone knows that very well, and that's why they maintain good relationship with their neighbors. However, make enemies out of them, you'll have to face the consequences. It's the unwritten law of the Japanese community. The Japanese community? And the Sonozaki family is a part of this unwritten law. Now that the Hojo family are outcasts, not even the Sonozaki family can overturn the situation. So it's an issue of Hinamizawa? We can't do anything about it as Hinamizawa residents? Oh wait.
So it's an issue of Hinamizawa, and we can't do anything about it as Hinamizawa residents?
Unfortunately, That's probably so. Yeah. If there's someone who can help Satoko, the person must be someone who has nothing to do with the village. Geichi! But there's no one like that here.
Are you saying someone from the outside has to come help her?
Yeah. Like Rika-chan says, would a knight in shining armor from the outside world ever come here? Would that person bring a new wind to this village that has been filled with stale air for hundreds of years? No way. That's just wishful thinking. Time will solve the problem someday. Until then, I have to be their ally. Can't think of anything else I can do for them. So Rika-chan and I crunched on our rock candy. Can only pray that people will forgive Satoko and her family sooner rather than later. Rika-chan gently broke the heavy silence.
I know.
Huh?
I know someone who has absolutely nothing to do with the village. Will come here from. I know someone who has absolutely nothing to do with the village will come here from the outside.
That's right. Dam conflict is over. So it'd be great if more people moved into lots that were for sale. Wouldn't it be fun if a family with a kid our age moved in?
He will come. I know. And we'll break this evil practice alongside him. I'll be the first key to one of the 3 locks that have us trapped in the past.
Huh? Just like, okay, I was with you, but now, what? What's this? You talking about a novel or something? Rika-chan says some odd things sometimes. She talks that way, she seems so mature. I even start to doubt she's really younger than I am. The unreasonable antagonism toward the Hojo family. Will there really be someone from the outside who will shatter our old traditions? Geichi! Where are you? Where are you when we need you? Is that the next one we can do, please? I imagine an applause, we get a woo, yeah, whoa, when Keiichi walks in. Keiichi Maibara. Ichiro Maibara inspecting a vacant lock is required. Tea set on the veranda being put away is required. Ryugu family's move is required. A watermelon from the Sonozaki family is required. Okay, we have a watermelon. But we don't have Ryugu. We have watermelon. Okay. Let's see. Huh. Okay, maybe this one? Kyosuke Irie's Reminiscence. That's the only one that I can think of. I'm just gonna check. No. Rika and Satoko's shopping trip. Okay. Rika plus Satoko shopping we got. Shinto priest contacting Irie, we have not. Steps, no. No. Rock candy, yes. Satoko's detailed test, no. What? Okay, so it has to be the EDA one. Yeah! Got it. Okay. Wanted to become a doctor ever since I was little. Doctors make a lot of money. People look up to doctors. I think those are the kind of reasons I had. When I played with my friends, I always acted like a doctor. Cleaned their wounds and applied ice packs when my friends sprained their ankles, using what I learned from household medical books. Everyone, including me, believed that I'd be a doctor one day. My family was poor, so they praised me for that goal. Told me that I needed to study a lot to become a doctor, so they borrowed some pseudo-medical books from the local library for me. Rental fees weren't cheap. So I would speed read one book in a day, and the next day, my parents would go back to the store to exchange it for a different book, saying they accidentally borrowed a book they already borrowed before. By doing so, my parents borrowed 2 books for the price of 1. Of course, now I know those books were rather useless, but they were highly motivational just the same. My neighbors called me Dr. Kyosuke-kun. and I was always picked for class health officer at school. Even my teachers helped me with the classes I needed to become a doctor. Of course, in reality, become a doctor isn't as easy as it might seem. I had to study diligently, and the path was most definitely rough. To become a doctor, one must attend college. My family was poor. I was told I wasn't allowed to go to an expensive private school, so I had to be admitted to a national public university. Our grades weren't bad, but the admission rate to the national public university was very marginal. Especially since I wanted to go to a medical school, my chances were even smaller. I studied like crazy. My only driving force was my childhood dream of becoming a doctor. My dream of becoming a doctor and to be looked up to by everyone kept me going. And I was admitted. I wasn't at the top of the list, but I made it in. I was finally at the starting point of making my childhood dream come true. My parents were thrilled. Neither my father nor mother went to college. They were proud of their son getting into a public medical school. They invited our relatives over to celebrate. Though it was a public university, tuition wasn't cheap. They still had an extravagant celebration anyway. My father didn't express his emotions much. He always kept a straight face. He rarely voiced his opinion or took initiative on anything. My mother took care of everything, and he showed up last and left without saying a word. He was the typical stern and silent Japanese father of the time. So I was surprised to see him shedding tears of joy, and I cried along with him. He went around to all my relatives while repeatedly slapping my back, saying how proud and lucky he was to have a son like me. He bragged about my achievements to all who would hear them. Celebration became my farewell party as I was about to leave for Tokyo. My father yelled "Banzai" repeatedly at the station as the train pulled away. I was a little embarrassed. When I could no longer see my father, I could clearly recall the tears pouring down. Days of hellish studying and exams became after that. Some days, I was tempted to just give up and submit myself to the lavish lifestyle of the city. The letters from my family always encouraged me and gave me the strength to go on. My dream, then, was to open up my own clinic in my hometown that could contribute to the region. Never even dreamed of getting involved with brains. With brains! One day, I noticed a difference in a letter from my family. Oh no. The letter said the usual things about how it was at home and asked how I was doing. But the postscript is what caught my attention. Your father has become really violent lately. Sometimes he turns the house upside down, and I don't know what to do. I just couldn't picture him acting viciously. I was extremely surprised. Something happened? But in the postscript, my mother said that there was nothing she could think of. My mother and father had been together for a long time. They'd been together since well before I was born, so she noticed things that I couldn't. She couldn't even think of a reason why my father had become so violent. What happened? We got along so well. They were such a lovely couple. When I caused a problem for my mother when I was little, my father only bonked my head with his knuckle. Why was he acting this way towards my mother? Maybe there was some kind of misunderstanding between them? I was going home for the new year. Maybe I could have a good talk with him then. The situation was a lot more serious than I thought. On one cold winter day, I found my apartment door unlocked. I thought someone had broke in, but I found my mother in my apartment with her luggage. That's right. My mother could no longer take my father's fury and came to stay with me. This was back when people still believed in the proverb, a woman has no place to settle down all her life. She couldn't go back to her own family because they lived in the same region as my father, so she came all the way to Tokyo. I heard about my father's violence from my mother's own lips. She cried, saying she had no idea why such a quiet man changed like that. She said she wasn't ever going back to him. I didn't know what to do. I asked her if she could talk to him one more time, but the bruises on her body told me it was no use. To remember what happened afterwards is too much, so I'll be brief. After my mother left, my father thought she was having an affair, went over to the neighbor's house with a wooden sword. He was arrested. He was released immediately, but he assumed someone in the neighborhood was hiding her, so he did the same thing repeatedly. Oh, that's awful. He eventually reached the point of getting into fights with anyone he saw. At the end, he picked a fight with some young punks and ended up being beaten to death. My relatives gave my father a decent funeral, but my mother didn't attend. It's no use beating a dead horse. So nobody said anything negative about my father. But everyone was simply puzzled as to why he changed so much. They're gonna find a brain tumor. Right? What I heard from my relatives about my father's final days was a lot stranger than what I heard from my mother. My mother only told me about his sudden rage and violence. My relatives told me. He also laughed and grew sad. Apparently, he displayed several sudden fluctuations of emotion, especially so in his last years. They also told me he started to complain about headaches after an accident he had. My father was a construction worker. He had hit his head on a construction board during an accident at work. He regained his consciousness quickly and seemed fine. But since the accident, he started to have headaches and behave abnormally. I sensed the connection between the accident and my father's changes, so I talked to my professor after I went back to Tokyo. Can't say for certain. Sounds like your father suffered some kind of brain damage. Yeah, okay. So it's not a tumor, which is good, but yeah, brain damage, not good. Chance that a blow to his head caused an organic mental disorder. Organic mental disorder? Haven't heard it referred to that before. Symptoms your father showed in his final years were similar to the delirium and mental fluctuations you've also seen in similar patients. Human behavior is created by the brain. If the brain is damaged, it can cause erratic behavior. In other words, my father wasn't crazy. He was suffering from a disorder. That was from an accident. Yeah. If you can perform an autopsy on him, you should check his brain carefully. Maybe you'll find something like a tumor there. My father had already been cremated. There was no way of knowing. But hearing about his behavior, I knew for sure that was the only way to explain why such a quiet and gentle man would change. I tried to explain all this to my relatives to regain my father's honor, but hardly anyone understood. If his brain was damaged, he would have been dead. Bruh. That's not how that works. What? But he was alive and well. So the accident didn't damage his brain. But it did. It wasn't his brain that caused him to change, it was his mind. Simply brushed it off like that. This is the perception most people have about the brain. They don't realize that the mind and the brain aren't connected. Most of the relatives didn't believe me. There was one person who I really wanted to, anyway. That was my mother. She got older, she grew senile, and she exaggerated the abuse she had to endure. All she did was criticize my father. And every time, she ended up crying, lamenting that she married him. Oh, that's so sad. Vampus, you're Texan, right? Yes. Yes. And honestly, the mentality of the mind and the brain being different is somehow, even today, not as mainstream as you think it is. Teaching me about football. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about football. But it's kind of crazy. Some family members even didn't really understand anything when it comes to, like, mental health. Or, you know, I guess brain and mind connection people know enough right now, but I guess mental health in general is still, you know, like, oh, I don't know what that means or what that is, or it doesn't matter either, you know, that type of thing. They were a lovely couple. We were a great family. So I wanted to convey to her that she was misunderstanding the situation with my father. My father's behavior was caused by his brain damage. What he did to her was very sad. He didn't want to be that way. I told her that he wasn't at fault. But my mother didn't understand. Before she took her last breaths, I begged her to forgive my father. But her final words were, "Please don't bury me next to that man." Oh my god. My father wasn't at fault. He was simply a victim of a brain disorder. You don't complain to a person who's coughing because he has a cold. His coughing is just a symptom, and he should be sympathized with. In my father's case, the symptoms weren't as obvious as a cough. It took the form of changes in personality, which are much harder to recognize. If I had studied the brain more, I could have explained it better to my mother so that she could have understood him. Then they could have been a nice couple again in heaven. When I realized that, I cried. Oh, it's so sad, man. I also realized that there are plenty of people like my father in this world. They're suffering from a disorder, yet they are misunderstood and despised for it. And then I found out about a miraculous cure for such disorders called lobotomy. You know, lobotomy is just...
Narrating without southern accent, perceptin, smug.
What do you mean without a southern accent? Do you think I have a southern accent? I don't think I have a southern accent. I think I have a basic American accent. I think I have a basic American accent. And I wouldn't know how to not do. I don't know how to speak. I'm banning not doing it. No. I'm gonna refund your freaking channel points. I am not doing that. This game, this beautiful story that I'm reading right now, it deserves to be treated with the utmost respect. I'm not going to tarnish this game by freaking speaking with a southern accent. That would ruin everything. But what was I gonna say? Freaking lobotomies. Yeah, you shouldn't cure brain damage by creating more brain damage. I don't think that's the best thing, but that's the best thing they had at the time. It was like bloodletting, you know? Ever since that day, I spent my days learning about the brain, so I could help people who are suffering from mental illnesses. My father is gone, but if he was still alive, I could cure him myself by sticking a little needle in his head. And so he and my mother could reconcile. That's the main reason why I'm here. Dang, I didn't know Idiot had such a crazy freaking backstory. My god. That is insane. No, I think most of what they did with medicine back then made sense. It made sense to them at the time with knowledge that they had. You know? When you have that knowledge... I've never heard a twinge of southern drawl from you. It comes out sometimes. Occasionally. I don't know why. Maybe sometimes when I'm like really tired, it'll happen. But I don't like the southern accent. So I think as a kid, I refused to have it and refused to say, like, to speak the way that southern people do. I don't like it. I don't like cowboys. I grew up and lived in Texas for so long, and I don't know. I don't like it. Right, what did we learn? His medical backstory, right? We learned doctor. And there is a specific fragment that dealt with that, right? Once they got rid of the 4 humors, medicine started getting a lot better, a lot quicker. Yeah, that's so freaking true. The 4 humors was way too philosophical and not enough about what was actually happening with the body. Yeah. No. Okay, there was one that was about his doctor backstory. Okay. No, discontinuation of Wait. The discontinuation of Satogo Hojo's dissection? What? That just confirms what I freaking said earlier, doesn't it? Isn't that spoilers? This is freaking spoilerize me? Oh my god. Detailed test. Kyosuke Idiot's decision. Marcus for death of aunt. No. No. I feel like I'm stuck. Rika's fever, hard consent, poison me, death of construction site manager. No. Shopping trip, yes. Shinto priest, no. Rock candy, yes. Detailed test, no. The fourth curse, red capsule, watermelon, yes. Ryugu's move, no. Death of Furude, no. She said no. Am I stuck? I have so many hints. Revenge of Mio Takano, no. Game board must be set up, no. Huh, 7 fragments are required. Oh, so previous chapters, probably, right? Wait. If I'm stuck... I'm gonna try this one again. Should I try repetitive apologies? Oh, it has to be repetitive apologies because we did... Maybe repetitive apologies can be triggered by different fragments because it happens in different fragments. Right? Yes! Early summer, 1979 AD. Jesus. Shit, damn it, shit. Manager, come on, say something. Manager. You idiot, he's dead already. Playing. A loud noise snapped everyone out of it. Someone dropped the shovel he was holding. The shovel was smeared with reddish-black blood. No, not just the shovel. All 6 construction workers' clothes were blood-soaked, too. One of them cried out to the silent dead body of the manager, which was drenched in blood. Manager? Oh, shut up! He's already dead. It was self-defense! Right? Self-defense. Fight had started after the manager yelled at them for drinking beer inside the office. There were no drinking and no smoking signs everywhere. Manager harshly scolded at anyone who broke that rule. It was the 6 workers' fault for disobeying. They drank because they were stressed out by the anti-dam protesters. That's why they said things to provoke the manager. They told him to step out, and the others went along. Construction workers toiled hard in long hours. That's why they instigated the fight with the manager, to release their stress. They expected to just curse at each other, or to end up in a wrestling match. But things escalated. To put it more accurately, the manager exploded all of a sudden. The manager had to deal with the residents' protests as well. He was under just as much pressure, or maybe even more. But how he changed was not normal. The manager was calm at first. He gradually became more aggressive. It was like he transformed into someone completely different. No, it's like he was possessed by something evil. The men who instigated the fight sobered up when they saw his behavior. Then, the manager picked up a shovel that was nearby, tried to smash his opponent's head in with it. He managed to avoid the hit, but if he didn't, his head would have surely been split open. The The manager kept pounding on him with the shovel. Oh my god. Oh, so it was the manager that... Okay. Even as he frantically tried to avoid the hits, this time the workers had realized this was beyond a simple fight, so they tried to hold the manager down. But the manager turned on them with the shovel too. One of the men tried to protect himself by crossing his arms above his head. There was no way that could have blocked a shovel swung with such force. Blood splurted out, and the man groaned in pain. By this time, 6 men had realized the manager was not his usual self. There's no way he had Hinamizawa syndrome. He wasn't even there that long, right? His manager would try to bash in their brains without hesitation. As their opponent was using a shovel as his weapon, they had to find some kind of weapon too. One of them grabbed a huge hammer, and the others realized they needed to find something as well. To restrain the manager in that condition, it was better to arm themselves. It wasn't supposed to be this way. It didn't take long for the madness to infect the 6 workers. It was only a matter of time before they went from restraining him to lynching him. By the time they realized what they had done, the manager was already a lump of meat. His face was swollen, shreds of skin had been torn off, and his muscles and skull were visible too. Obviously, he was quite dead. Fuck! He almost killed us, remember? If he hadn't attacked us, we wouldn't have fought him, right? The leader of the 6, the one who instigated the fight, tried to bring the rest to his side, but nobody replied. And so, the leader became frustrated. He was the one who started the fight. The rest simply joined in. He was the main perpetrator. Maybe that's why he was feeling so exasperated. He sensed that he was the one at fault. Don't just stand there like a limp noodle. It's too late. We killed him, and there's nothing we can do about it. We're all murderers now. Fuck up. You ain't thinking about turning yourself in and doing time, are you? Fuck you. I can't go to the slammer at my age. We're hiding it. We're hiding this corpse and pretending nothing happened. Some of them knew he was on probation for an assault incident once before. Wow, okay. So if he got into trouble with the law again, punishment would be more severe than they could imagine. That's why he was trying desperately to find a way out. If he was alone with the manager's body, then he wouldn't have behaved this way. All he would have to do was hide the manager's body and pretend nothing happened. But there were 6 of them, including him. They were partners in crime, and witnesses too. Even one of them turned himself in out of guilt, being in big trouble. But even if we hide the body, they'll find out sooner or later. Instead, we should just plead justifiable self-defense, and they might end up pardoning us. Don't be so stupid. Look what we've done. Look at his face. Who would think this is the result of self-defense? His parents won't even be able to identify him in this condition, you idiot. But even if we hide it, everyone's going to find out tomorrow morning when the manager doesn't show. It's hopeless. What's hopeless is your damn brain, you shithead. He slapped the other man in the face. The leader had such an evil look in his eyes. Listen well, dipshits. We're all murderers, okay? Keep griping now, we'll all get slammed with 5 or 6 years. Just one of you here try and blab. We'll all be locked up. Don't underestimate the pen. If you're prepared to be caught anyway, then run like your life depends on it. You can resign yourself to it later when it's time to pay the piper. His visage turned more and more demonic. It was the same expression the manager had just a few minutes before. Was he possessed by the same thing that possessed the manager? 5 men started to think that way. Now that they considered it, all the villagers in the anti-dam protest had the same expression on their faces too. The real name of Hinamizawa was Onigafuchi village. People said that wicked demons lived there, and sometimes they possessed people. The men couldn't help but to recall that exaggerated story often told by the demonstrators. The manager swung the shuffle after his expression changed to that demonic one. There was no guarantee this man wouldn't do the same. In fact, he was still squeezing the hammer in his hand, glaring at everyone and threatening him. If someone suggested surrendering, he'd probably smash their head in with it. I know. Make sure nobody betrays the rest. I have an idea. It'll make it easier to hide the body, too. Oh, that is the most worrying thing you can probably hear from someone who's in that mental state. What is it? We're gonna cut up the body into 6 pieces. What? They all wanted to object to the idea. Killing him was a serious crime itself. Dismembering the body would be too much. But if anyone objected, he'd be killed on the spot. So no one said anything. We'll all cut him up together. Remember what the manager used to say? Teamwork! We're all in this together. We'll take a body part and hide it responsibly. What do you think, huh? This way, we're all equally guilty, right? I won't let anyone else give themselves up. Oh. 5 men were all taken in by his ghastly face. They could even feel the fear of the Onigafuchi demons creep up their backs. They're like, well, we gotta do this now. Oh, that is insane! That is insane! I don't like the way that we're finding out about this, but I love just his writing. Ryukashi? What a king! Oh my god, it's so freaking peak. It's so peak. It's actually so peak. Oh my god. Okay. What's the next game you're going to play? I've been thinking about other visual novels to play after this. I'm probably not going to play the freaking the one after this. What is it called? The other When They Cry. I'm probably not going to play that because it's so freaking long. It's so long. Even though I'd really like to, I want to do some other visual novels first, and then maybe we can dive into it. But let's see, what do I have on my other visual novels list? I have a lot of visual novels prepared. Oh, what is it called? Oh my god. Longer means more heart-wrenching content. Exactly. No, you're right. You are right. I had wanted to play either Katawa Shoujo or You and Me and Her. Probably going to play You and Me and Her after this. It's like, what, 30 hours? It's not bad. And it's really messed up, so... Katawa Shoujo is the joke. Yeah. I just want to play something more horror-oriented if I'm gonna play a visual novel, you know? Because I love the messed up stuff. You know, like really messed up. Like, I want to be afraid when I read a book. I don't know why. I like being afraid. From a book. Not from an image. From a book. Forest Party? I already played that. But I guess I could play it again. Like, it's on the channel, although it was a long time ago. Okay, repetitive apologies. Instructions. Okay, it was the tragedy at the damn construction site. Yes. Yes. Tragedy. Tragedy at the damn construction site is what we learned of. Perfect. Wait, no. The death of construction site manager. Not the tragedy. Did we not learn of the tragedy? Or we learned of the death of the construction site manager? I need to stop writing this stuff down. My freaking notepad is getting way too packed. Detailed request, decision. Frick, I'm stuck again. No. 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 A bat beat her to death. No. No. Maybe. I'll try it again, but it's probably no. No, no. No, no. This. Perfect. The old guy? What the frick? What is the old guy? I don't know what to say. I want to say something, but I can't think of the right words. I can only sigh. Ah, Oishi-san! I've been looking for you. Section manager asked me about the wanted poster. Be quiet! This is a place of rest. Kumagai barged into the room. The old coroner quickly snapped back at him. Sorry. Section manager asked me about the wanted poster for the suspect. Can you talk to Komiyama-kun about that? Need to speak to the coroner here. Could you tell him I'll be right over? Okay. Kumagai ran out of the autopsy room with the same haste he entered in. Lively, isn't he? The old man would have slapped him for making a fuss. You probably should go back too. The air in here isn't for people who aren't used to it. You're right. If I slack off too long, I might get slapped as well. Haha. Here in Shishibone, all the hoodlums cross the street when you pass through it. Yet he's the only one, past or future, who's ever punched you for splitting your tsumo wrong. He really was a merciless man. I think he punched me more than my real father. Oh my... Doesn't matter if he was your real one or not. You looked up to him in the same way. Then he really was a father to you. Weird thing to point out all of a sudden, but... My real father passed away in Nagoya. He was unlucky. He wasn't given the order to move to a plant in Nagoya. He wouldn't have died in an air raid. Oh my god, right, Oishi's so freaking old that he lived through both world wars. Right? Probably? Or probably just the second one, maybe. No, probably both. I don't know. If he could have rode it out another year, half a year or so, then the war would have been over. I was sad, of course, but I was grown up enough that, and by then, that I didn't cry into the ground like my mother did. But people feel sadness in different ways. Some people comes out all at once as an overwhelming wave. Others feel sadness gradually, over a long period of time. I think I was the latter. When I was alive, I only thought of him as annoying. In my mind, I even cursed him with questions about why he avoided the draft. So I thought my feelings toward him would always be the same. Then the war ended. I saw families and friends being reunited with joy as they came home from the front. It finally happened. I grieved for my father's death. Japan was filled with people who were sad and full of despair. And it wasn't the only one whose life ended up that way. But I remember I was very, very heartbroken. After the war, the nation completely changed. As a policeman, the environment I worked in went through sudden changes too. In order to forget my sorrow, the only thing I could do was devote myself to my work. At the time, I was in charge of busting people for buying rice illegally. What? How do you buy rice illegally? I conducted spot checks on travelers at major train stations. And boy, did I find a lot of them. It's a fairly big black market in Gogura, and a lot of people came from as far as Osaka to buy it. After the war, Japan faced a chronic shortage in food supply. To those ends, the nation instituted a food rationing program by signing the Food Control Act. But the rations the government provided weren't even close enough to being enough to feed families. Therefore, people had no choice other than buying food and supplies on the black market. and Oishi, being the amazing policeman he is, stopped people from getting food. Heck yeah! The government hardly had enough food for rations. There was somehow plenty on the black market. The dealers there sold at outrageous prices. Some of them became quite wealthy. So the Zaki family made their money through the black market, but that's another story. The government didn't bother arresting these dealers, or, with their money, they were able to buy off the top members of the police department. Instead, they decided to go after the people buying the goods, and even confiscated the rice they bought by selling everything they owned. Yeah, I remember that. Wasn't there a prosecutor who starved himself to death? Yeah, there was. A prosecutor who vowed not to eat illegal rice, starved to death. Wasn't it in 1947? That was horrible. He, a public prosecutor, proved it himself that people couldn't survive by adhering to the law. Wow. And if Higu is saying it, then that's probably what actually happened. Somebody fact check this. Oh my god. Prosecutor had grown tired of the government charging people doing whatever they could to survive. He proclaimed that he was never going to buy black market rice again. In 1947, he starved himself to death when he was only in his mid-30s. The law prohibited people from buying black market rice. That was the only way to survive. In that case, was the Food Control Act a bad law itself? The death of the prosecutor was seen as a desperate message to the government about the unjustness of that law. We rounded up people with bags of rice and lined them up in a temporary inspection point next to the station. It's like a military tribunal. We inspected their bags and confiscated everything that they bought at the black market. The women all cried. They sold everything they owned to buy the rice. They pleaded that if we confiscated the rice, how would they feed their starving children? Doesn't make sense, huh? Yet they forbade you from going after the sellers. It was absolutely unfair from the view of the people. I think it was unfair in general, not even from the view of the people. That's just unfair. Everyone was on edge. They heard police inspection was up at the next station. They'd jump off the train and run. We were aware of these people, so we set up several officers near jump-off spots in order to capture them. Remember chasing after women carrying several kilos of rice on them. I don't understand how anyone could feel okay doing that. That's insane. That was when I first met the old man. Man, I was surprised. Remember my father? He looks exactly like him. I really thought that maybe my father had miraculously survived an air raid in Nagoya. I was chasing a man who was running away from the inspection point. There was no way for him to run with a heavy bag of rice on him. Either he'd get arrested with the illegal rice, or escape by ditching the rice that he bought by selling all of his belongings. In other words, if a person is being chased by the police, that person can't provide his family any rice to eat. Of course, I felt guilty about that. I knew people had to buy the rice to survive. So we had a tacit agreement to let those who ditched the rice and ran get away. So I always thought the same thing as I chased them. Please throw it away. I didn't want to catch him, because I didn't want to hear him crying and pleading in distress. It was then that the old man showed up. He looked exactly like my dead father. I was dumbfounded. Then, all of a sudden, punched me in the head. The father disciplines you as a child. You lower your head in apology. I was so happy to see my father alive that I couldn't hold my joy in. The old man said, "Let him go." When I heard his voice, I realized he wasn't my father. I thought I'd arrest him for assaulting a policeman. But a young man like me, he'd barely grown any hairs yet, was no match for an older man used to fighting. Yeah, he sure taught me a lesson. Gave me a good scolding in the middle of the street after I was all beat up. Wouldn't even listen to him, right? But something struck me then. Kept seeing my father in him. All I could do was listen. Yeah, he was a ruffian, but he showed his guts like a real man. That's what made him such a great guy. You don't see men like him nowadays. He's a true example of a man from the good old times. Despite my age, I still needed a father. I needed someone to look up to show me what makes a man a man. When I think about it, I really did have two fathers. The old man was a father, a brother, and my best friend. But now, here he lies with his head, body, arms, and legs all dismembered. And his right arm hasn't been found. Oh, frick. Oh. Oh my god. Okay. He taught me how to be a man, to enjoy alcohol, how to play mahjong. And with that right arm, he gave me a good beating when I did something wrong. That right arm is still missing. You have any suspects? Yeah, of course. Swear I'll find the old man's right arm and pay them back for what they've done to him. They're running Hinamizawa from the shadows, and inciting this collective crime they call the Dam Protests. Sonozaki family. That's why he's so dedicated. It's personal. I declare war within myself. I already know who the enemy is. Oh, Oishi, no. Oishi, no. Declare war. And I know I saw a hint like that somewhere. Oishi's his name. The detective's name. He's the delicious detective. Let's see. There was one I saw about Oishi. Declaration of war from Oishi is required. Okay, we got that. We have not got the execution order. Should coincidence? No. Kidnapping aspiration? No. A bat? No. Mika's high fever? No. 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 I'm stuck. Oh, again! A red capsule? No. Is that the Hojo? No. No. Frick! Okay. What do I have? A live specimen for research is required. No. Kyosuke Idia's decision? No. Huh. Hospitalization of Satoko Hojo. I guess that did happen, right? It did. It did happen. Okay, no, it did happen. It did. Okay, the second sacrifice. Yes, I got it. The satisfaction when I actually deduce something and I get it right. Let's freaking go. Satoshi-kun is a good brother who takes care of his sister. Went to visit Satoko-chan straight after school and kept encouraging her to get better every day. Without even hearing Satoshi-kun's stories, it's obvious to me that Satoko-chan never had a good relationship with her step-parents. She especially didn't get along with her stepfather. Satoko-chan even called the child abuse hotline once. Not only that, her parents ended up dying in an accident, so she just wasn't able to withstand all that damage. Satoko-chan is still very young, so everything must have been horrible for her to go through. Fortunately, she has a wonderful brother. Emotional wounds are hard to heal, but nothing heals those wounds better than love from family members. I'm sure that one day, Satoko-chan will be able to smile again. She's still in shock, but when she talks to Satoshi-kun, she smiles a little bit. Oishi from the police department keeps requesting to see her, but I think I need to protect her for just a little longer. While he's passionate about his job, I just wish he'd be a touch more sensitive. It reminds her of her parents' accident, her emotional wounds will start to open again. That's the one point I worry about with Satoko-chan. Heard someone knocking on the door. It was Takano-san. Doesn't look right wearing a nurse's uniform like that. She's a licensed doctor, so she should wear a white coat and act like one. Maybe this is fun for her, but I think she might be insulting the real nurses. I didn't say anything though. Dr. Irie, may I talk to you? Oh, yes. Well, Satoshi-kun, if you'll excuse me. Sure. Hello, Satoshi-kun. Please keep Satoko-chan company. She's always alone, so I bet she's lonely. Okay?
Oh, that's not true.
Okay, Satoshi-kun, you're in charge. I got up and let Satoshi-kun take over. Something happened? Now right here, let's go to your office. Takano smiled meaningfully. Usually, smiles bring happy feelings. When it comes to Takano-san, it's rarely the case. Are you sure? Yes. The initial test results show there's a possibility she's at L3 or above. We need to keep her here and run some more tests. The results aren't in yet, but from what I can see, it's very possible that she's at L4. Takano-san's eyes sparkled in a weird way. There's a reason for that. For us, finding patients at the terminal stage is a valuable boon for our research. fact, as a result of dissecting the murder suspect from last year, we made a great progress in our research. In other words, we finally managed to isolate the pathogen. Really? No way! We discovered that when the host dies, the pathogen melts away within a few hours. Once that happens, it's undetectable. So we never found the pathogen when we performed autopsies. Our research made a lot of progress after that. What we found this past year has easily surpassed what the late Dr. Takano found in decades. We're now studying the nature, the effect, and the symptoms of the pathogen, as well as treatments and vaccines. In other words, a living specimen who's at the terminal stage is necessary for our research. However, we rarely find a patient who's gone that far, who's reached L5. Umezawa syndrome once created huge numbers of L5 patients, but today, it doesn't have such potency. Because of that, we have to secure L5 patients, or patients who are close to reaching L5, as quickly as possible. Satoko-chan possibly qualifies to be that next sacrifice. To keep this strange disease a secret, we can't let patients who may be at L5 go. We have to run more tests first, then we'll figure out what to do next. In any case, Satoko-chan seems so calm. Her behavior is nothing like the man from last year. Initial tests are in error sometimes. We'll have to wait for the results of more detailed tests to determine how serious her condition is. Okay. Let's admit her for observation. Please let the staff know to get things ready. Sounds like a formal answer, but if the results come back positive, there'll be a green light for her dissection. I don't know Satoko-chan that well, but I've known her brother, Satoshi-kun, through the baseball team for a long time. How could I dissect the apple of Satoshi-kun's eyes? I feel scary images flashing in my head for the first time. Don't worry, everything is already taken care of. She smiled as if telling me that the dissection is already being prepared for too. Is it just her who's smiling? Am I smiling like her too? When I dissected that man last year, I did feel guilt beforehand. Once I started, it was like I was in paradise. All the pieces of the puzzle that were left by the late Dr. Takano fell into place, and at the same time, they didn't. How exciting it was. Knowing that we were the first ones to take this first steps to solve a mystery, that is. I don't even know how to explain this feeling to those who have never experienced it. There's no way to describe it with words. The only thing I can say is that even a year later, I still remember it vividly. So if the results show that Satoshi-kun's beloved sister is to be dissected, can I control myself? Can I stay calm? But that means I'm a failure of a human being. I know very well that the Hojo family was treated poorly by the villagers, and I know what Satoko-chan had to go through. Also, I know Satoshi-kun loves his sister, who is his one and only blood relative. How can I dissect Satoko-chan, using my research as an excuse? I didn't feel much guilt for the man from last year, but I feel unbearable guilt towards Satoko-chan. It means what I did last year was very sinful. I don't care if a stranger dies. I don't want Satoko-chan to die. That's not right. All lives are equally precious. I tried to convince myself that he was a violent murderer. Maybe he only became that way because he was at the terminal stage. I don't know anything about him before he became deranged. Maybe he was a model citizen who was worthy of respect. Fortunately, he became ill, ended up doing what he did. Maybe he was a victim himself, just like my father. I know more about Higurashi syndrome than anybody. This disease makes people act in bizarre ways, without those people realizing it. So when the people at the terminal stage do such strange and violent things, one should be sympathetic. I already knew that back then when I decided to go down this path. Should have remembered it sooner, but I only did just now. Finally realized what sinful research I'm working on. Satsuko Hojo's detailed test results came back. The results say L5. Oh. What? How? How could she be at L5? She's at the terminal stage of the terminal stage. It's actually a surprising result. In last year's case, the patient was extremely deranged. According to Takano-san's records, Complained about itching coming from the lymph nodes all over his body. Wanted to claw at his throat, just as the late Dr. Takano mentioned. But Satoko-chan isn't displaying such symptoms. Even in late Takano's data, throat clawing is said to be a characteristic symptom of the terminal stage patients. However, not all patients experience that symptom. Besides, emotional expression is very different in each person. Even if it's the same emotion, one patient may express it rather violently, and another may express it calmly. There's no way of knowing by just looking at the person. But Satoko-chan's detailed test results say that she's at the terminal stage of the terminal stage, L5. In other words, she may be feeling what the man from last year was feeling. Just that she isn't expressing that feeling in the same way the man was. Yunamizawa syndrome affects the frontal lobes of the brain, stimulates the most primitive of emotions, doubt, very strongly. As a result, terminal patients are trapped in delusions and paranoia, and end up committing horrible crimes. Satoko-chan seems to show improvement when she's exchanging friendly words with Satoshi-kun. But there's a paranoia stirring inside her, may put her in a deranged state at any moment. Can't let her leave the clinic like this. However, if things go according to the manual, I'll have to make a decision on her dissection. My decision will only be a formality. I can't actually refuse. Takano-san appears to be already working on the dissection schedule. That plan will then come to me. Would I feel the same way? While dissecting Satoko-chan? Would I be able to experience that trance once again? No. The question is, can I fight the temptation? So I pretend to question myself, letting Takano-san prepare things on her own. By doing so, am I passively agreeing to Satoko-chan's dissection? Possible. I want to save Satoko-chan. I don't want her to be a sacrifice for this research. I don't want to dissect her. Then what about the man from last year? Do I only care about the lives of people I know? If I don't dissect her, do I let her live and leave the clinic? I simply wait for her to become deranged to commit a horrible crime? And then she'll end up here, just like the man from last year. And I'll end up dissecting her anyway. The man from last year was dissected alive, and kept that way for several months. What? What? Alive? Who was it? Do we know? His skull left open, he wasn't allowed to die for several months. He was kept alive, just for our cruel experiments. I don't want to do that to her. I don't know what to do. Even debating and agonizing over it is leading towards consent to her dissection by elimination. Holy moly. I didn't imagine her being at L5. That's pretty bad. But we unlocked a lot of things by viewing this one. Satoko Hojo's dissection plan. I thought it was Satoshi, but it's Satoko. A live specimen for research. Tragedy at the dam construction site. So we can do this. The second sacrifice. The first sacrifice. Oh, that's probably the man. What else can we do? Idie's motive to become a doctor, yeah. Oh, 5-stage patients dissection required. Ugh. No. I thought there was another one that we could have done. Let me see. No. Yes. This one. We could do this one. Which then we can probably do this one. And then we can do this one. It's all freaking connected! Oh my god. I don't want to stop, but I am now getting tired. Let's see. The first sacrifice. I want to do that one. we'll do the first sacrifice. And then we'll do this one. And then we'll do the broken one. And then we'll end it. And then we'll end it for today. Yeah, there's no way I could go through all of this today, but I'll get a good chunk of it. We should be able to do this one. The first sacrifice. I was half asleep, so I didn't even hear the phone ringing nearby. For a while, I finally realized the phone was ringing. And a ringing phone means there's some kind of an emergency. It's 2 in the morning. Who would even call me at that time, this time of the night? Hello, this is Irie. Sorry to bother you, Dr. Irie. Oh, it's Takano-san. I'm sorry to bother you, Dr. Irie. She never called me for a personal reason. The Institute, she's ranked just below me, so she's basically responsible for running it. So for her to call me this late at night, it must be an emergency. Sorry it took me so long. Is it true that we have another terminal patient? Yes. I was hoping to find a living specimen, so this is perfect. I initially thought that she'd abducted someone. The man had already been moved to the research area in the clinic's basement. Having been tied down to the examination table, he's struggling against the restraints, but more as though he's deranged than actually resisting. Can't even understand what he's saying. Sounds angry, sorrowful, like a child throwing a tantrum all at once. It's obvious that he's not in the right state of mind. Anyway, let's put him under anesthesia. He might kill himself otherwise. I wanted to observe him a little longer, but I guess I have no other choice. One of the staff with the white gown got the anesthesia ready. But a normal person would struggle to escape a restraining table in this suspicious room. This man's behavior is at an abnormal level. I'm sure Okanogi-san and his friends from the Mountain Dogs are the ones who captured him. Capturing a man in this state of mind couldn't have been an easy task. According to Takano, she ran into this patient on her way home from the clinic. What? On her way home from the clinic by accident. By accident. Okay, yeah, got it. She brought him back here, tested him, and the result came back positive. Of course, I have no intention of just believing what she's telling me. There's no question that this man is at the terminal stage, and a live specimen is exactly what we need to research the syndrome. Who is this man anyway? He had something wrapped in newspaper. What do you think was in it? Oh. Okay. Did he have one of the body parts in it? Right? And this was the leader guy, right? Maybe? Oh, what is this? There's something wrapped in bloody newspaper on a tray nearby. Looking at the blood-drenched paper, I can only imagine that there's something gruesome inside of it. That's the right arm that's missing! Yet Takano-san looked like she wanted to surprise me with something interesting. Oh god, this is awful. It's a bloody right arm. The man on the table still has his. This right arm doesn't belong to him. So who does it belong to? I'm used to looking at things like this as a doctor. The horrible cross-section makes me want to look away. It wasn't done according to a medically acceptable method, that's for sure. It was obviously done out of cruelty. Judging by the situation, we can assume this man cut off this arm. So he's the culprit behind the body dumping that's been occurring in the neighborhood? At that point, there was no way of knowing who the right arm belonged to. But the next morning, the dismemberment murder of the damn construction site director was reported. And they mentioned that his right arm was still missing. So we learned who the arm belonged to. This man has a criminal record, and he's on probation. Yet he committed another crime. But he dismantled the body in order to hide it. Sure, it depends on the circumstances, but he'll get more than just a few years in prison. So you won't hesitate to dissect a scumbag like him, right? Who knows? Maybe he was a scumbag before and became violent due to the syndrome. Maybe he had gone straight, but became violent again due to the syndrome. The former is one thing, but if it's the latter, it's not his fault. That's why Higurashi syndrome is so terrifying. Can't tell if the syndrome is the cause of the crime, or if it's simply a problem of human nature. What causes a defect of human nature in the first place? That was precisely EDA's area of research. Hate the crime, not the criminal. Can criminals only be corrected by punishing them with imprisonment? If a person commits a crime because of a mental disorder, then gets treatment, he is corrected. In other words, there are no crimes in this world, only patients awaiting treatment without anyone else being able to understand them. In medieval times, patients with mental disorders were said to be possessed by demons, and they were either confined or killed. Centuries after, they were finally acknowledged as mentally ill people who needed treatment. Perception can change with time. Even if they are called criminals now, maybe after several centuries, those criminals will be acknowledged as patients who are entitled to appropriate treatment. Explaining crimes through illness instead of malice. That's my life's work. Higurashi syndrome is a strange disease that can support my theory. Solving its mysteries is extremely important to me. To solve those mysteries, I need a medical sacrifice. It's an extremely sinful thing to do. There's no way to unravel this without it. The Idiot Institute was authorized to take such drastic measures if necessary. So I was asked about it so many times when I accepted the position of director. And finally, the opportunity is here. This will be the first step of our research on this strange disease. But even now, I'm a little hesitant. I've opened up human bodies in many surgeries. But what I'll be doing on this man is something very similar. There's also something that's very different. What I did before was part of treatment. I did it to save the patient's lives. I did it so the patient could have a better future. What I'm trying to do here isn't treatment. He will die at the end of it. His death will be far from humane. I'm going to violate nature and force him to stay alive while I open up his living brain. Director EDA, are you listening? Sorry. Could you repeat that? I believe it's best that we submit the dissection proposal to Tokyo and request their assistance. He's not only alive, he's also at the terminal stage, so he's an extremely important specimen. We must conduct this dissection very carefully. That's true. You're right. Let's do as you say. I think we'll have a few days before the dissection. So I want to run some reaction tests once he's off the anesthetic. You think that's safe? Even if he's restrained, we don't know what will happen. We finally have the opportunity to test a live specimen. We can't only look into his brain. What are you planning? What do you mean? What else are you going to look into? Hakuno-san's unusual cheerfulness made me feel odd. Maybe her reaction is normal. Maybe I'm the one who's not reacting normally in this situation. I'm here only for the research. I should be excited to have the opportunity to perform our first live dissection, but I'm still hesitant. How can I call myself a researcher? Researchers of the past were brave enough to cross the line, and that's how they accomplished many things. I've seen many brains, I've operated on them. I've lost some patients too. But I've never thought anything of it, because I knew I did the right thing. Even when my hard work was denied afterwards. It pained me to think of that. I just needed to advance the fields of medicine to ensure their deaths weren't wasted. That's the true form of those advancing the field of medicine. Yet, why was my heart tormented so much just by changing the name from treatment to dissection? Does that mean I'm not man enough to emulate those great men of the past who opened doors to new medicine? I don't have the power to develop new advances myself? Hey, what's the matter, Director? Are you feeling okay? Hakuno's pretending to be concerned about me, but she knows. She knows I'm still hesitating. She's telling me that I should be ashamed, as a researcher, for feeling that way. I shook my head to clear it of sleepiness. Remember the resolve that brought me here to this day. I already have blood on my hands. If I stop now, their lives will be wasted. Those who shed their blood can only rest in peace once they've become the cornerstones of great research. Shook my head once more and reminded myself that I am a researcher. No, I was just thinking, Takano-san, please make some arrangement with Tokyo. And let me know when it's done. Okay, understood. This is really exciting. The least I can do is my best, so his life won't be wasted. He bleeds. Can't waste even a drop of his blood. For scolding my staff for their indiscretion of discussing the dissection with such excitement, I returned to my office. Higurashi, when they cry, Kai. Hi. Hi. I guess that's the fragment part of it? That's just chapter 8 is Kai? And that's the freaking anime part that I didn't watch. I didn't watch any of Kai. I only watched Ho. Okay. No, I can't go on. I'm so eepy. But we'll do this next, and then that will cascade into doing others and others and others and others and others. So, but this is so crazy now. I was not expecting it at all, and I'm very happy about it, actually. It's very, very interesting the way that this mystery solving is happening. It's so unique. It's freaking wonderful. And I can't wait to continue. Which will be soon. Thank you guys for hanging out and coming along with me as I piece together the mysteries. Have a good day. Have a good bite. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.